Hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk Chronicles.
Me.
First and foremost, happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody. I hope you all are having a beautiful day. It doesn't feel like um it doesn't feel like a Monday. It feels like a Sunday, kind of, lazy Sunday. The weather was nice earlier, then it's a little chilly now. It just came inside. But the one thing is God is good. I'm glad to be here. So, you know, this is Real Talk with Bill Forster and Alyson Williams. But we all know Alyson is on the mend, and hopefully she's listening and watching in, and we'll give some love and say hi to her later. But sitting in with us today, we have Dr. Marilyn Corder, who has her show with us the second Monday of every month, and she's sitting in with us for a few. She's going to give us some health tips or whatever she wants to tell us, but she's going to also reflect on Dr. Martin Luther King. I had the pleasure to be on her show and wish her husband, my cousin, a happy birthday. And also we reflected on Dr. King over the weekend. So we're going to keep that tradition going. And we have Miss Indy Smith.
Hello, everyone.
Part of
Hi. Thank you so much. Look, yeah. I am a super fan of all your quotes. It's too much. Anytime I need a laugh, a word of wisdom, just self-reflection, I just go to the quotes and it's like, oh wow, that's true. Yes. Like you need to write a book.
Oh, I wish. I probably would have to pay so many people for copyright infringements. So
just like some people cite them, just reference.
You take your quotes and make it a hot song. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do with a lot of people's stuff. But then Indy is part of our other co-host that's coming in tonight, Lenny Green. They're part of the Quiet Storm, Kissing After Dark. And I'm going to ask Dr. Marilyn Corder how she's doing tonight. How you doing, Doc?
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yay. Good. I was concerned. We had a snow and an ice storm and lines were down. So and our internet was a little shaky earlier, but I'm glad you can hear me. Yes, we're still celebrating Martin Luther King. And I tell you, all I can say about that is instead of celebrating, let's legislate, let's vote. Let's make sure that we do what we need to do. It takes me back to the 60s. As you said on our show on Saturday, we talked about it, and we cannot just sit back and say, oh, everything is taken care of. Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if ever there's a time to keep fighting, to keep voting, to make sure that you understand what this is in terms of a setback, when the vote tomorrow will be the vote for voters' rights. And it's like, I thought we were done with that, but we're not. And of course, we know why, because the angry past president, and I hate to even say that word with his name, so I won't say his name, but the past president is still denying that he lost. And so whatever it takes, and of course, that's what they say in the back rooms, whatever it takes, including fraud, cheating, and lying, they're trying to take it back. So, all I can say is let's follow what Stacey Abrams did in Georgia. Let's vote for her and let's support her no matter where you live, send your money, etc. But we need to make sure that we take this out, take this demon, take the spirit out forever, so that we could be one American, one USA. This is happening all through pandemic. And the voting that occurred successfully to get Biden in was through the pandemic. We had seniors, we had folks outside at the polls, where neighborhoods where it was limited in terms of Black and brown neighborhoods, but they still hung in there. They still stayed in line. It reminded me of the 60s. And now it's illegal to give anybody water or food as they're standing in line. Yes. You can't even go up and say, do you need a glass of water because you've been out here 2 hours? Or you're diabetic. Do you need a cracker? Do you need something? Or even do a chair. It's illegal. You may as well go ahead and have the hoses and the dogs and all of that in line, grabbing them one by one. So we can't sit back. We cannot sit back. As long as you have a breath in your body, a heartbeat, make it happen. Make a phone call. Get folks registered. Because the young people want to vote. We just have to make sure that they stay focused to register to vote, because people are turning 18 years old every day. So that's my conversation on.
Oh no, and that's good because I know your time is limited with us, and I appreciate that. So that's why I definitely, and then I'm going to come to you, Indy, and ask you what does Dr. Martin Luther King Day mean to you, or the man. But without that, until Lenny gets here, and then on the second half, we'll get into our quiet storm, kissing after dark conversation. But I always have to give our public service announcement. Shout out to everybody that's watching in. Erwin from Europe, my brother, LaShonda Weathers, Terry, I see you. Clay, I see you. Stefania, she said, Indy, you looking good, girl. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you. Well, these shows are sponsored by Soft Illusions Art Gallery. We have mugs. That's my wife's business over there. So for
beautiful.
those that have little things that you want to give people, birthdays are always coming up. Also supporting Black business. We have mugs. We have a plethora of things. Hold on, let me get the thing. The one thing that is a real hot seller is the calendar that every month it's a different picture. The doctor has hers somewhere in the office.
Beautiful. You can frame those pictures. It's beautiful.
So you can go online and you can order that. Malika will put that in the site. Also, too, the show is also sponsored by the Deadly Art Survival magazine that you can find on Amazon. And yours truly, being a martial artist, that I'm blessed to be a part of a affiliated organization of people that have trained. I'm in the magazine, so if you want to read about my career, you can. And also too, I got to give a shout out to Harlemwood, Sheila Ennis, and her Harlemwood Glamour clothing line. I will show you that when I get it. Indy, somebody turn your phone down. Good evening, Collins. Anna said, I got to get a calendar for this year. Absolutely. Vivian, what's going on, Garcia? So, Indy, let me ask you a question, and we're going to bring the doctor back in. What's up, Todd? My childhood buddy is in the building. I want to ask you, what does Dr. Martin Luther King mean to you? I personally, and I'm just going to say this to both of you, and then you can comment. I know he's probably, and I say this with affection, but with seriousness. So I'm sure he might be turning over in his grave, seeing what's happening with our people today. A lot of all the things he fought for, peaceful equality and camaraderie for us to come together. And a lot of us, not just people of color, but crime is all over the place. It's almost like we're regressing back to racism and certain things like that. But we have a new mayor in New York City that's promoting public safety. Mm-hmm. Alvin Bragg, the first Black district attorney, has implemented some rules. I asked him to come back on the show. As soon as I saw the memo come out, I texted him and told him, I said, you got to come back on and explain yourself, because public safety is paramount all over the world. I just posted something. A woman got pushed on a train in New York, mental health. Doctor, that's something we'll definitely talk about in the future. Just so many things. And like you said, the doctor was explaining earlier about voting rights and things of that magnitude. So, Indy, just whatever you feel about Dr. King, the celebration of his life and who the man was to you and what did he mean to you? Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. So I'll go back. As a child, he was a Black man that I was taught about. Mm-hmm. As a teenager, he became an advocate. And now as a woman, wow, we just don't have them anymore. We don't have the stature of men that are willing to sacrifice their lives because they know that a cause is bigger than them. And so for me now, what he means to me is an example of sacrifice. It's unfortunate that they only show him in one view. His story is very limited in how the media shows him. Dr. King fought. He had fire. They don't show, if you all can go back and research, I wish I had written down the link, but the actual speech speaks more to indigenous people, indigenous Black Americans in this country. It speaks to reparations. we are not talking about that. You know, I agree, Dr. Corder, we need to vote. But in my vote, like my vote is this very precious part of my power. And in that, I'm not going to give it to you. I want you to show me that for my vote, like a dollar, like a coin, I'm going to get something in return. I personally think that if King was alive, he would have at least tried. And I say try strongly because I understand that I'm living in a Western society in systems that work for the multitude, that have money, but maybe not necessarily for me. So I would say that he would have tried to maybe get us on a page of community so that as a community, we knew how to support one another better. So we wouldn't have to go out and march, but maybe learn to boycott if we weren't giving and having our needs met. So that instead of going and purchasing, let's say, food.
Did she freeze? Everybody,
Did
this is
I
Real
freeze?
Talk. Yeah, you froze. Oh, you're back. We got you now. Did you freeze again? Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host this evening. We're sitting in for Alyson Williams. They're sitting in for Alyson Williams. Shout out to Allie Cat. If you're watching, Allie, we love you. Wishing you to get better. She's doing better, everybody, just for everybody to know that Alyson is doing much better. I spoke to her today, and she's doing good. So I don't know when she'll be back, but the bottom line is keep your prayers going for the lady and well wishes. Go ahead, Indy. You're not frozen now.
I'm not frozen. You know what? I wonder if are they freezing us, Bill, because of my big mouth? Because I'm trying to speak in code here.
But you know the beautiful thing about it, it's all right if they freeze us because we're on YouTube too. And sometimes the doctor will tell you, sometimes we get it in so real that I've had them come to me and say certain things. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, really? Right. This is what we're doing?
I just think that, it's time for me to enjoy and embrace purchasing from my people as well as other places. And in that, building economic power. Because with no money, we ain't got no voice. That's just it. Right. So building economic power so I don't have to worry about, oh, shoot, Bill, are they going to freeze us tonight? Are they going to cut the show off? Because we have our own antennas and we have our own media and we can speak about things that are important within our community so we can start policing our community so we don't have to go out and sue people for killing our children. We don't have to do that. I mean, there's layers to this, Bill. And so in that, going back, I digress. I think Dr. King would have at least had maybe, I would say 3 generations of Black men and women closer together.
Yeah.
Not against one another. No sagging pants.
No.
No. We having children, we get in a house. We're going to have,
None of that nonsense. And without further ado, I have to bring in my other brother, the other musketeer. We lost one, but that is our thing that we always say to each other. Cheers to you. Happy Martin Luther King Day, brother. And
hello, doctor. How you feel, doctor?
Hey, Lenny. How are you?
Hello.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you two have seen each other, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, over 4 years, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Over at the house, yeah. Right?
Yes, at the house, exactly. Right. So, Lenny, we're just going to bring you in. And the question was earlier, before you get, so you can catch up. We just wanted you to asking everybody, the panel, what does Dr. King mean to you? We know about the celebration. I had just said earlier that we feel that, I said he's probably turning over his grave to see all the work that he's done for our people. And some of us are regressing. We're getting more violent. And this is just all over the world. I don't want to hear about the Republican and Democrats and all that nonsense, because crime is crime. White people killing each other and hurting each other too. All ethnicities are doing it. But the thing about people of color, they highlight and capitalize on us the most. And some of us really want to be shown in that light, you know? I mean, I always laugh when they talk about rappers and they always want to show the rapper being the hardest. But when you ask him where his son goes to, it's going to a boarding school. He goes to a private school with all white kids. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How crazy is that? So before we go on, and we wanted to ask you, and first and tell people, we're going to let them know everything about you later on, but tell people where they can hear you tonight on what stations.
That's a good question. You can hear me tonight if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, Augusta, Georgia, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Lake Charles, Louisiana. If you're in, I doubt it, but if you know some people who is in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Woohoo! I don't know who's in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, but you know what? We got my man in here from Europe, Erin's in Europe. So, you know, Real Talk Chronicles may go far. So, you know, we all over.
And plus, we're on the island of Nassau, Bahamas. Help me out. We're in Milwaukee.
Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma. Did I say it right?
Yep. So they can find me. I'm not on in New York tonight. Tonight they're doing a special mix in New York. And you can find me in Miami, doing a whole new different kind of show. So I kind of do 2 separate shows every day, Monday through Thursday, and then it's complicated. You know how they say relationship status on Facebook. They should have job status, because that's exactly what I'm in. I'm in a complicated situation. So yeah. Please do check out the question.
So before we discuss it a little further, just what does Martin Luther King mean to you, Lenny?
He means everything. He means everything to me. You know, I was a kid. You know, when he was at the height of his of the movement. I was when I say a kid, like young. So I only got to understand his life. I wasn't living in his life. I wasn't living in his moment as a man of knowledge at that time. I was living in the moment when they were trying to make Dr. King's birthday a national holiday. So all the efforts that the Black movement had put behind trying to push making Dr. King a federal holiday, I was a part of that. Like, you know, from Stevie Wonder to the Reverend Al Sharpton's movement, and everybody else who came together around the country. The marches on Washington, I remember going to those in the freezing cold. But going back to your initial question, what does he mean to me? He means everything to our culture. He was the one who planted the seeds. He was the one who took the assertive efforts. And we can't forget about the fact of how young he was in taking these efforts. And when you look at the generation these days, you know, the millennials these days, we cannot, and I won't say that all of them are like this. We have a lot of conscious young brothers and sisters out here of all backgrounds, of all ethnic backgrounds, that are focused and trying to move it forward. But you know the old saying where they say one bad apple can spoil the bunch, and people always look at the bad apple and they judge.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. You know, I think the struggle, and I think there's so many people that are in the struggle that are trying to make things happen, that are trying to progressively move things forward, and we have a problem within the infrastructure of us as a people. We've always had that problem for a long time. You know, what Indy just spoke of when I came on was that having our own. I mean, that was the part of the Ngutu Saba. You know, that was a part of the principles that Dr. Karenga and James Mtume worked on in creating Kwanzaa. You know, Kwanzaa is a Swahili word that means first fruits right. Of harvest. Mm-hmm. The 7 principles that was a part of the Ngutu Saba was basically 7 principles that was for African Americans to strive to live up to. One of those things that we all were striving to live up to was cooperative economics, to buy and support and control things within the infrastructure of our communities at all. Because I mean, we all know this, and those who are watching this knows this. And if they don't know, maybe they'll hear about it tonight. We are the only ethnic group that supports and makes everyone else's business, industry, boom. We are the boomers of everyone else's industry. the unfortunate part, some know it and a lot don't. If we can only pull that money back within the infrastructure of us and learn how, and if we learn how to work collectively, cooperatively together, we would be a force to be reckoned with. And the bad part about it, everybody knows how strong we are.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't understand that power.
You know, that's an excellent point. And everybody, you know, I'm so glad you got to hear Lenny. I just got some comments in here. My friend Tabitha said, yo, she says, so glad to catch us live. She says, I love listening to Lenny on the radio. I know, ladies, don't he have a sexy voice? Al. But you know what's so funny? I like is because a lot of times Lenny, as conscious as he is, and especially the doctor, as conscious as he is, and Indy, you know, sometimes the three of us and then the doctor and I can have conversations. For those that don't know, if you've been under a rock, the doctor is my cousin. So, and you know, first cousin. So we converse with each other all the time, either via text and we share information. And I love the fact that Lenny can show and Indy can show their other side, their knowledgeable side of their culture and who they are as people. Because a lot of times, you know, people can know me from partying, but then when you see a little political or a little consciousness, you're like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. You know, I get people all the time to say, yo, got your little Farrakhan hat on or your Malcolm X hat, you know, and I take that as a compliment. You understand? Because I want you to know that there's more to me than just shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is. So I appreciate all that. You know, Doc, what do you think needs to happen for our youth to get more involved? You know, because they'll speak up when it's about police brutality or they feel as it's injustice as they roll a blunt, and not all, no disrespect to all, you know, as they roll a blunt and they throw a bottle and disrespect and give the cops the bird. Some deserving, because you know I keep it real. I keep it real with that. But it's still about what about the respect given to others? I mean, you know, people have just become so volatile. Hate is all the way around us. So I mean, Doc, what do you think? What point of emphasis should we concentrate on in galvanizing our people?
Well, you know, first we have to make sure that they feel that we are listening and that we are listening, and then they feel that we respect them. You know, you are aware, but many of your listeners are not aware that for 10 years I was the medical director for juvenile corrections here in DC. And I took that job on it first as a consultant to say, you all have 2/3, 80% of these young Black males should not be arrested. We failed them in the village and then we throw them away. So just getting them out and keeping them out and respecting where they're coming from, because many a time that's all they know. They identify with what the gang, what's in the street, what's on their block. But if we can begin to talk, and if we used to do our own town halls and our own concerns. And why did you jump in that stolen car? And why did you arrest, you know, the old man on the corner? I mean, rob the old man on the corner. And as they talk about it, they're hurting. They have lots of, they're coming from broken. And if you can begin to unpeel that onion, and that takes a lot. And I had to teach I call them guards, but the officers in the correction facility, these are not, they may be bigger than you, but these are still children, and these are still immature minds, and we have to meet they are. So going back to what we have to do, we have to talk. You know, I always said, and I love what Lenny said in terms of economic cooperation, what we should be doing, and I teach and tell many, many folks in the village, Martin Luther King Day is not just a day to hang out, you know, get your sleep on. It's a day of service. It's a day of talking. It's a day of educating the next generation, I'm the most senior here in the group, and I remember Martin Luther King. I have seen his speech. I remember when my father went down for the march. You know, I remember, I was in middle school when the shooting occurred, and it really hurt me. And I also now have to make sure that as we talk about it, listen to his speech. You know, he wasn't that docile. You know, we know he was nonviolent, but at the same time, he was bold. He stepped out, and that's what we all need to begin to continue that stepping out. Where are our leaders now? I mean, we have Jesse Jackson. He's trying, but he's old. You know, we have a few, but we don't have the leaders like when I was growing up that we have. And so we need to embrace, and we need to begin to groom those that have something to talk about. And we have the politicians. Like I said, I'll give my respect and shout out to Stacey Abrams and a few others that have just stepped out on faith. But we need the next generation and the next generation. So they have to pull up their pants. We can't be afraid of them, but we have to approach them respectfully and with love.
Absolutely. And Indy, I'm gonna come to you. And I know you're going for your doctorate in something, right? Indy, is that correct? Or did she freeze? Yeah, because Indy is going for a doctor. Indy, you there with us? You got the sleepy look. You're looking down. Yeah, she'll come back to us. And it's a beautiful thing. We'll let her talk about that. Everybody, I want to thank everybody for chiming in. We got people. We got Michelle from Memphis. We got Europe in the building. My aunt Irwin. I got so many different people. Thank you. Happy Martin Luther King Day to you all. Of all races and ethnicities, the people that are chiming in, watching from ghosting us. It is a beautiful thing. We appreciate you all. Indy, we were saying that we know you're going for your doctorate in something too.
It's in psychology. The specialization is consciousness, spirituality, and integrated health. So I hit gold when I found that, because I think that we got to start from within. Like all these systems and concepts that we wear from birth, that's one thing. That's a part of being a human being, but we're a spirit in this vessel. And so I thought it was important to just be able to tap into and just leaving a piece of work behind that showed people that this is what you look like here, but who you are, that's what you want to get through. So when you leave here, you're not taking all this garbage with you. When I say when you get through, transcend, leave the dying process. And so, it was just important for me to take something that spoke to who we really are, the spirit side of us, and we don't get an opportunity to talk about that a lot. And just, I'm gonna put it on the table. If we as a people, my Black people, if you knew who you really were, this would all fall away, like the Matrix.
Yeah. Well, what's so funny, Indy? I tell people all the time, I mean, it's a shame, and the doctor, you could contest it, and Lenny too, that in school, all we taught, the first thing we learned about our people was in chains and slavery.
Right.
But we were kings and queens before that. And that's why if you taught that in the beginning, now the education will be totally different, and then the mindset. Because if you were taught that I was a king and a queen, then hopefully you might act like one. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because that we are so divided as people, hating on each other, jealousy for some reasons. It's almost like we're grasping for straws, and there's no straw to grasp for. But if you look at it, we can. If you really want to grasp at the real straws, there's a bunch of straws in a box that we can all have a piece. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to sit here and try to cut your throat, or you cut mine, or somebody cut another person's throat just to get someplace in life. Everybody, this is Real Talk. This is Real Talk Chronicles, and I'm your host, Bill Forster, with our co-host Alyson Williams. She is out on, shall we say, rest, sick leave, and we have some beautiful co-hosts sitting in for her today. We have Miss Indy Smith. We have Dr. Marilyn Corder, who has a show every first Tuesday, the second Tuesday of every Monday. Second Monday or every Tuesday. I mean, I get it together. Everybody, y'all know what I mean. You better watch it. How about that? Yes, thank you, sweetheart. And I got my lovely wife in the back. And then we have the man with the golden voice, my brother, Mr. Lenny Green, Mr. WBLS, Mr. Tri-State, around the world, syndicated all over. Oh no. Hey, Tabitha, I didn't throw you under the bus. I just told Lenny that you liked his voice. She said, dang, bro, you threw me under the bus. Yes, Lenny is smooth. Happy Martin Luther King Day to y'all. Bill, you are so right about that. They didn't want us to know how great we have always been. Absolutely. Doc, go ahead, Lenny, please.
I just want to interject something. I just recently came back from Jamaica. And while I was there was an African wedding that went down. And when you see how beautiful everyone looked prior to the wedding and during the wedding in all the African attire, you would see how royal we are as a people.
Right.
Now, I don't see many African weddings, but I know they're all royal. I just recently learned, and I think this might be a good start. I know Indy, I was happy to provide an opportunity for Indy to get her African ancestry done as well. I think I had my African ancestry traced through my mother's DNA. AfricanAncestry.com is the same company that Chadwick Boseman had talked about before he did Black Panther. And he was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, and Charlemagne had expressed that he had went to Ancestry.com, and the brother had said, well, Chadwick Boseman said, nah, brother, you need to go to AfricanAncestry.com because they have the connections and the DNAs of over 300 tribes in Africa, and they could be a little bit more precise in tracing your DNA to a specific tribe. And that's what they did. They traced our DNA to a specific tribe in Africa. So now I know, what happened through my mom's DNA, which is in my DNA. It came from an African woman in Nigeria. And I think that might be the beginning of a start of something, but it's not a cheap thing to do, unfortunately. And it's not easy for everyone to do or even get them conscious in doing that. I think it has to start within the infrastructure. I think the doctor just said, just scratched on it as well a little while ago. We have to get, and we're so afraid to do this, but Bill, we have to get back to a point where we are the older men kind of have to connect with the brothers who may be a little bit apprehensive for us to approach. Like you could approach them, Bill, because you come with a arsenal of things to approach them.
Yeah.
I don't come with that arsenal of approach like you do, Bill. But if you get brothers like you and some brothers like me, because you guys have to be the Marines, the Army. You guys got to go first, we come in second.
Absolutely.
We have to connect because, look, I grew up in a fatherless household. But my mom was phenomenal and my grandparents phenomenal. But here's the difference of what I have observed today. I was fearful of my mom. It's not fearful, not to say that you should instill fear in your child, by no means, but I respected my mother and I respected my grandparents that much where I didn't want to go outside the realm, and I knew there were consequences of stepping outside the realm. I don't know where the values have depleted, and I think we have to take a look at the infrastructure of family because I have a dear friend who we all know, I won't mention his name, but he's a teacher at one of the facilities in New York. And he teaches at an academy. Am I saying it? Academy?
You can say
like
what, charter school? You talking about charter school?
Charter school. And he was so surprised to have learned that when students would come to class or come to school, a lot of them didn't have a breakfast in the morning. A lot of them didn't wore clothes that were dirty and dingy. So something has happened along the way within the infrastructure of family. And I think in order for us to grow this new generation the right way, or to expose them, or to educate them, or to broaden their minds, something has to be done within the infrastructure of family first. That's going to be a hard mission to do. Now, you can't save everybody on the planet. I get that. But I think if we start with our communities, our block, our neighbors, our floor, if we live in housing developments, and somehow connect with these kids and somehow connect with these parents and let them learn about the value of themselves. Like what you were saying, Indy, the value of themselves. It's a long process. It's not a quick fix because we've been conditioned so long. And if everyone doesn't mind, try to pick up the book, The Willie Lynch Letter of 1812. The Willie Lynch Letter of 1812 is not as a big booklet, it's a small booklet, but that's where all this has stemmed from. The Willie Lynch letter of 1812 will tell you why we are in the condition that we are in today, in the mindset, the mental, because everything starts here.
Crazy. Doc, I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead, please.
I do. You know I do. So about 30 years ago, my family, my sister, we used to call her Miss Africa because she was African American Studies, Fulbright scholar. But we traced our roots back. That was before the blackancestry.com, etc. And I am just so honored because my children who are grown up now knew that they were kings and queens, descendants of kings and queens. We traced our roots back 6 generations, detailed out to the point we went back to Ghana, which is where we're from, Ashanti tribe. We know detail after detail, who did what, etc. My great-great-great-grandfather founded a church in Virginia, which is where the slave ships came, in Culpeper, Virginia. And our church is now 153 years old. And it's a historical marker for the state of Virginia because of Joe Toms. So we have, and you're so right. If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going, you're lost. And so my children who went to a school called Roots here in DC, by the time they were pre-K, 4, 5, and 6, they were coming home and said, "We hate the white man." I'm like, no, you can't. Yeah. Did you know they did this? Did you? I said, hold on. They have to have the kente cloth every Friday, etc. And I told the principal, I said, "Now wait a minute, sis, Mama Sutu." I said, "We can't teach them that much like that." But they simmered them down. But they know their history. They know their history.
I know we had to talk AC off the ledge.
Right. So now my daughter lives in Ghana.
Yes.
And in the year of return, she took 40 or 50 of us docs from Howard University to Ghana. She's like there. She's relocated, etc. My son's been there 4 different times. I have to say it took me till the age 2 years ago that I finally went, but my heart and my love is there. So that's where we are. And it's funny. One of you we talk about the mentality, that slave mentality, the things that we can't come together. That's the crabs in the pot. That's the non-encouragement. We are one family. I promote Black businesses. I am a physician of color, but I have everyone that comes to see me, and they don't really see color. And one day we will be like that, but we're not there yet. And we need to make sure that we do support minority businesses because that's important. And our power, yes, I'm summarized, but money, we're very powerful, but we don't even understand the economical power that we have. We get the update tennis shoes, the update phones, the styles, etc. So when we do boycott and say we're going to keep our money in our pocket, then people begin to listen. So
it's so funny just to say that, I'm gonna try to sum it up real quick with what Lenny said and Indy said and stuff like that. Lenny, you're right. Before this pandemic, I was going around speaking around the country, different cities on how to interact with law enforcement and just motivating kids to be better, positive. That gap is starting to come because, I know I don't look it, but I'm starting to get a little older. So that generational gap is different. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe. That's why I put this on. But what made the kids understand a certain kind of respect is because I went to one school. I don't even know if the teacher is listening, and she can confirm it or deny it. I always say a story is not true unless somebody can co-sign it. So I had to tell. She said, "Yo, Bill, I need you to be you. Like be Harlem Bill, but just be you." I said, "You want me to be me?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So we started talking to the kids. So I started running down my resume, and then I started running down my martial arts resume. So I told the kids, I said, "Listen, I'm a disciplinarian, but we're going to deal with respect. Raise your hand if you have something to say. Yes, sir, sensei, whatever you want to call me, mister. But it ain't gonna be no AOs. I'm saying we're not doing that here. So now we got to teach you some etiquette." And I said, if any of you don't like what I'm saying to you, and you think you're tough, you can get up here right now, and I'll bust your ass in front of all your little classmates.
You so beat him. He's so beat him.
Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie in him. That's Uncle Willie in him.
So now all the kids are looking. First, I had to lean. So when I said that, the kids was like, so they look over at the principal, and they look at him and say, like, "Yo, You gonna let them talk to us like that?
Right. Then they became kids.
And then I told them, I said, listen, I have I'm not binded by the school. I'm a guest here. So you're not going to talk to me any kind of way you want. And most of you guys in here, I probably know your fathers from your blocks. So you can ask them. I said, my Harlem credentials are real. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I said, listen, your father ain't talking to me like that. Your big brother ain't talking to me like that. And your little punk ass ain't going to talk to me like that. So either you're going to listen or you're going to get mopped up right now. But I said, please, I got to finish this lecture. So somebody step up quick so I can get this over with quick so everybody can see that these things are real. Let me tell you something. Them cats were sitting up like this. So it goes back to what you were saying, Lenny, about fear. Because let me tell you something. My aunt, her uncle, our family, if we talk back, it was when we was grown where we could leave and snatch our keys and go.
And run.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. See, the way we were brought up, I know some people don't believe in chastising their kids in that manner. I get it. But the first time of fear, maybe him and somebody up will stay in their mind to say, I don't want that. You got people now smoking weed with their kids. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Hanging out. I got friends that try to hang out with their sons and bag girls together. I don't get it. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I say all that to say that, yes, Indy, we got to love ourselves. Like, going back to what you're saying, we got to love ourselves. We got to see ourselves as bigger people. Like the doc was saying, we have to teach history. That's why I'm all about, critical race theory, changing that in the school. I'm tired of school. I don't care about the Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria. That shit ain't doing nothing for me. Unless you know what I'm saying? I don't know a Ponce de Leon. He's not on my block. I know Miguel. You know what I'm saying? I know Jose, but I don't know Ponce de Leon. And it's not going to do anything for me. No disrespect. I always try to tell my Italian friends, you could have picked, not that you promote Christopher Columbus, but you celebrate it. There's a lot of other people, other Italians that could be the face of you guys. You understand what I'm trying to say? So with that saying that, we all are saying that, you know what? That's why we're having this positive conversation about Dr. Martin Luther King. Doc, I don't know how long I got you. So if anybody out there, if you had a question for the doc, you better ask her quick. Because Doc's time is always short. Go ahead, Indy, please. Indy, and you always doc, yes.
Doctor, if you had to give, I'm a solutions-based person. And so is there a way parents, single mothers and single fathers, because there are a lot of great single fathers out there. There are a lot of great Black fathers and families out there. Is there any way to start? They might not have time now because COVID, they're trying to work. They don't know what to do with their children, being in school, out of school. How would you suggest they come together for family time to cut these electronics out and just have conversation with the kids? What can you offer? What's a step? Do this first, see how that works. Do this for the parents out there who want more family time.
So the first thing, you want to make sure that they know their child and that they're listening to their child. And sometimes that minor may not want to talk to them because, that's my mom or that's my dad, because, that's the last person you're going to listen to sometimes. And as we often come into their lives to say the same thing that parents are saying, but it's different. But what I have said over the years of counseling, because I also did a fellowship in adolescent medicine for 2 years, and I tell the parents this, that independence, that development that comes with that early, middle, and late adolescence, you have to respect that. And you also have to make sure that you know where they are. You can have a 16-year-old who mentally is not but 12, or you can have a 12-year-old who's already beginning to become what we call having that independent pendulum. But you want to make sure that you understand where you are. These are your children, true, but where they see you, when I say where you are. So the first thing you want to do instead of saying, okay, sit down, put the phone down and talk to me. That ain't gonna happen. Have them write, have them express themselves by saying what's on their mind. What if they had, and this may sound silly, if they had a magic wand, or if they had, the Ashanti sword or whatever, they could just say, what 5 things would you want to change? And have them write it down. And have them write it down.
And let's talk about it. Let me interject. Cuz these bad kids are probably the first one. They'd be like, I'm tired of you asking me these questions.
And that's true. And it might be. And you can say, well, why? Well, you did this, you did that. So talk about it, as opposed to all pent up, etc. Now, so getting into what's going on with them. They could be bullied. They could be the bullier. They could be sad, depressed. This is hard. Everybody's has sad days with this pandemic. Folks are tired. They ain't got masks on. They can't see their friends. We're social folks. And so and then they may have, stressors, of course, at home. No matter where your economics are, this pandemic has caused some stress. So writing it down and then going over it. And I also have had an exercise with young people. We do group sessions that you can now do on Zoom, but we have group sessions for parents as well. So they'll know. Some parents have no idea. Some parents got it sometimes, and but it's just making sure they know nothing's perfect. They didn't come. The children didn't come with a book, and each child is different, and that's okay. Do your best, but listen, and take yourself out of it. One of the things I teach when I teach the medical students and the residents, I tell them, when you're talking to an adolescent and they tell you how many, boyfriends they have, how many partners they have, what they do, etc. Don't be like, oh my, do not clutch your pearls. What you need to do is just look at them and say, okay, all right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the risk factors, etc. Because when you clutch your pearls, you know what? You lost them. It's like the station is now blank.
Yeah.
And they used to always say, when I go in and talk to them, they're like, Dr. Corder, they didn't tell me that, or they lied to me. I said, you got to know how to get the truth. It's not the interrogation that my cuz that his team would do, but what you do, you grab that brain and that heart, and they know, and they won't lie to me. And we talk and talk. Sometimes I take the little student out, etc. But I get it all, and that's why the parents bring them to me. I get it all. Because there's a way that that you bring it and let them know you're not judging. You're there for them. They have you. I'll tell them. I can't even tell your parents this kind of stuff. And we talk a lot of stuff. I said, but here I am here for you. Here's my cell number. Often they may say their friend did this, but that's them. So we talk, and they just have to know that they got you. Each and every one needs to have someone. It doesn't have to be the doctor. It can be the counselor, the school, the godmother, but somebody that they can trust. Otherwise, they're going to be out in the street.
And Doc, let me just piggyback off what you just said. When I come, and anytime I speak at engagements, I never dress up in suits. I don't want to, because even though I come with that title as retired detective, I don't want them to see the man. So I want them to see the baseball cap, whatever, the Timbs, whatever they feel comfortable, the sweatsuit. And then when they see the Harlem guy, because at first they may be on their toes, on their heels with me, but when they see the Harlem person, the New Yorker, they can see somebody, like, wait a minute, he's cool. I can be him. You mean I can wear a little jewels, I can have a little swag, and I tell the kids, the swag is unlimited. So you can have that. It may not be unlimited, but you can have swag. And you can be somebody and hang out. And then the job is what it is. I tell them the job segmate me to speak to you all. So you are totally right. Sometimes they may be comfortable talking to you. They may be comfortable talking to an Indy. They may be comfortable talking to a Lenny. We don't know who looks up to us in our lives and why they want to speak to us. Us. I think it's a beautiful thing that we all, I think if all of us, not just on this panel, but just anybody that's out here listening, like Place for Trust, if we can all just be a mentor to somebody.
That's right.
And then that kid will say to somebody else, well, listen, maybe you need to talk to big brother, my uncle, or somebody, because Lenny, we'll take those titles as OGs, right? I have no problems with that title right now, Uncle Bill.
I'm already OG already.
Absolutely. Doc, anything else? I know you probably got to get ready to go.
Right.
Anything
So
else you want to say?
that's the main thing. Just show love, and then you will get the respect. Show concern, and you'll get their attention. And then don't do the negative all the time. Reward and do something, acknowledge some positive. It may not be the big project you told them to do, but if they close the front door and put the shoes up, different things that you can say, you know what? I know you're working on it, but you did do that. So always have a positive, even if you're doing something corrective. Gotta go. Thank you, guys.
Love you.
You
too. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Every month, everybody, Dr. Marilyn Corder, she's always welcome back. Doc, you need to come back one day on a Wednesday because that's when we talk to police stuff.
Okay, I will. Because I said correction.
I'll see you later.
Be safe, you guys. Please, we're still in the
You too.
Wear your mask. Wear your mask, Doc.
Yo, Lenny, Indy, I want you to close out with what you thought the doc said on that topic, because I know I want to get into some other stuff with us, but
I may have to eliminate myself. I know I came late and I have to leave early. So not unless I can do this in between. Now I could do this in between talk breaks. So
yes, you can. We can stay a little.
Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes.
I'm gonna move you out to a different studio with me. Okay.
All right. Exactly. So yeah.
So start with Indy first.
So Indy. So just in summation, what the doc was saying. We can close out with that before we go on into another topic. Where the hell are you going, Lenny?
I'm going.
Malika, look at this cat. Yo, you said you going to another studio. Oh, okay. You putting on your hood. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, we just talking about positivity and he going to rob somebody. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm the host.
There you go. I'm back.
Hold on, Andy. Yeah, I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Alyson is on the men. I see you, music. Claire, you're right. Education is definitely what's up. TJ, I see you in the building. Tabitha City, I love you. Thank you, Lenny, for the information. I would definitely look into AfricanAncestry.com. I would love to dig deeper into my roots. Absolutely. I think we all would. We can spend a $500, $600 on a bag, but we can't spend $150 or whatever. Don't hurt them.
That's real talk,
right? But we can't spend $150 or something on our ancestry. Some of us don't even want to know. You don't even love yourself. Let me just read some of the comments in here. Kevin, what's going on? Darren Joseph is in the building. Stefania said parents have become friends instead of parenting. You're right. She said, well, firstly, they dropped crack into our neighborhoods. Then they offered our women welfare. Yeah, definitely. Joe Hammond is in the building. I saw you earlier, Joe. I'll definitely read what you were saying. I'll go back to that. So, Indy, while Lenny is in transit, what do you just think in closing on that topic? Did you freeze on us against this? Indy's on the frozen. Yeah, she's gonna have to start smiling before she frees up. Because she look. There you go. Come on back, girl. So, just in closing, Indy, on that topic, and before we go on to some other juicy stuff, what do you what would you suggest we do and stuff like that? Did she freeze again? There she goes.
She froze again.
That's all right. She freezes.
That's what happens when you go to the suburbs.
Oh yeah, ain't that something? She up there. Exactly. What's up, Dory Wilson? How are you? That's Stacy's sister, Lenny. She's in the building.
Real pandemic, and we continue to be committed to inspire, inform, and serve the community we love. Thank you.
Hold on. Let me mute Lenny. Go ahead.
Mute Lenny.
Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead, Andy.
No, in closing, I was just really, really grateful for what she said. And I asked that question purposefully because I have students with children and they are losing it in the house with COVID and pandemic and school and no school. So I wanted her to know that I will be taking her to my classrooms.
Absolutely.
and sharing her wisdom, and I think that's what it's about. It's about each one teach one. And if you're put in a position where your voice is heard by the masses, whether it's in a classroom, on this social media, television, radio, speak into people. You may not be able, the bottom line is we can't say everything we want to say. We need a behind the scenes. to say what we really want to say. But just knowing that in my intention is to get that information to you some way, somehow, you know that I'm a go-to person, and each one teach one. I want to leave people with, there's a book called They Came Before Columbus. Get that book.
Oh, you ain't going nowhere yet.
They came before Columbus. Get that book. No, I just want to, I don't want to forget. And there's a website, World Economics Forum. Go on the World Economics Forum. Just do your own little research. Look at some of the past forums they've had. It's going to tell you what they're planning ahead of time. So these are just some things that are not always spoken about.
Yes,
definitely. I know Lenny and I, we talk about relationships, but to know me knows that just because I have a weave on my head don't mean and I'm
watch out now.
Watch out. So yeah, it's just I'm so grateful to her. And you can tell she's the type of person you can tell anything to, even if it's bad, and she won't crucify you, so you feel safe.
Hey, it was so funny being my big cuz. It was so funny when for those that don't know, I was almost paralyzed. I had a very extensive back surgery, and when she found out that I had the surgery, let me tell you something. She said, "Don't you ever." That's the first time I got reprimanded by my cousin like that. She was like, "Don't you ever go into some kind of medical procedure like that and not have me get involved in it." And I was like, "My bad. I'm sorry." Because she said, I'll make some calls and make sure you're being handled right. And I was like, "Oh, okay.
Right.
Cool." You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I really felt like the little cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, not for nothing, Bill. She worked hard to get that DR in front of her name. So she knows some things, and along the way, she's met some people, and the whole point is to each one teach one. Like, I got you. Like, I'm doing this for a reason so that you don't have to worry and suffer because you're a Black man.
Absolutely.
You are the most feared and the most sought after on the planet for so many reasons.
And I'm a Capricorn too?
I'm done.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Shout out to all the Capricorns. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to all the Capricorns. There's so many people celebrating birthdays today. When is your birthday, Bill?
January 6th.
January.
Yeah. Yes,
January 6th?
January 6th. Yeah. Day of the Three Kings, the insurrection. I know. I got all kinds of things going on my birthday. I got the insurrection.
I see.
I got Day of the Three Kings. Oh my God. There's so much happening on January 6th. And then here come little old me chugging along. Hey. You know what I'm saying?
Today is the birthday of James Earl Jones, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely.
It's so many people celebrating birthdays today. One of the emotions of celebrating birthdays today. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah. It's so funny. And shout out to Lloyd Strayhorn, your boy that always does the numbers and things like that. Do you think? Let me ask you a question, just to shift it a little bit. Do you think Zodiacs have anything to do to help relationships, or do they really mean anything?
I just deal with them from an entertainment standpoint. But if you speak to Mr. Numerologist himself, Lloyd Strayhorn, which he makes sense. Numbers is all around our lives. We're identified as a number.
Right.
Your social security number identifies you of who you are. Your birth date, numbers. Where you live, numbers. If you live in an apartment, a number. If you don't live in an apartment, your home address. Numbers really kind of encircle our lives in many ways. And have you had Lloyd on Real Talk yet?
No, we got to get him, Lenny. We got to get him on.
He's going to electrify everybody because he's going to bring everything full circle to what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also too that number that haunts us all, our paycheck number. You know what I'm saying?
You mean how much we don't get?
Both. We don't get and we say we think we make. You know what I'm saying? Because money moves it. Even and we understand money can put you in a certain bracket, but it depends on who you are. They still can treat you like you're not that serious. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, we get fooled by the fact that because we make a certain amount of money, we're different now. You know, look, I'll never forget where I come from. Not at all. I'm always the same. I always will be the same. That's how I was raised, and that's how I love to be.
Yeah. So, for those out there, I think, ladies, I always play Lenny's manager when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. So I think he's still single. He might be interviewing.
All right. So here's these two right here, Indy and Bill. Ladies, I'm single. But you gotta go through these two to come to me.
Go to Bill first. He's the nice one.
Yeah, because Indy will have a dog sleeping in the bed with you.
Excuse me. You know what?
That was earlier. That was earlier. Listen, everybody, full transparency. Malika and Indy and I and Lenny, we was having a conversation. And I think one of the best, Lenny always says that one of the best conversations Indy and I had, we were going at it in the studio. It's over a dog, and it's just and a relationship. We can leave it right there. We can leave it right there.
No, because it really wasn't over a dog.
Yes, it was.
No.
Here we come again.
The dog was part of the content. The dog was part of the content. The real issue. So this is the thing, and I stand by this. All right. So somewhere, I don't know the history because I don't know the histories of dogs being domesticated. All I know is somewhere along the line, somebody decided to domesticate them, and now we got them all jacked up, and now they need to eat.
There are certain dogs, and you got to do your history on dogs that are not domesticated, but they were assigned, they were trained, they were raised to do certain things. Like a Saint Bernard was raised to do certain things. A husky was like
right, but that's not. But training it, that's the point. That's like colonization. Like they didn't need to be trained. Somebody needed them and trained them. My point is this: once you decide to have an animal or any other being that needs your help to eat, sleep, and take, you have to be responsible. You've taken on a responsibility, and it shows your character how you treat that being. Point blank, period. So if I'm here and I'm single and I have a dog and my dog is taken care of the certain way, that is my responsibility. Why's your face so close to the screen, Bill?
I'm sorry.
I'm looking up your birthday, by the way, Bill. And
shit.
Cardology. Really
go
good.
ahead, Indy Strayhorn. No. No, I'm just playing. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. But tonight we had Dr. Marilyn Corder. She came in and dropped some knowledge on us. And of course, we have Indy Smith, part of the Kissing After Dark. And of course, I got my brother, my musketeer partner, Mr. WBLS.
You ain't kiss no more, Bill?
Huh?
You ain't kiss no more.
She's a part of Quiet Storm.
It's not Kissing After Dark.
We Quiet Storming.
Oh, so y'all just, okay, my bad. I knew somebody was kissing somewhere at one point. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, just Quiet Storm. My bad, everybody. First and foremost, that's Lenny Green. You know who he is. That's my dude. So listen to him. He'll run down all the scripts and where he is. What's up, Doris? Stefania said, Indy Smith, look up my birthday, please.
Oh Lord. Okay, so wait a minute.
Have you looked up
Bill, you're an 8 of spades. You're an 8 of spades, and I'm gonna read that to you. I'll read it to you behind the scenes.
All right, cool. So let me ask you, hey Andy, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna mute Lenny, and what do you think? What kind of girl would be good for Lenny?
So we've had these conversations, he and I think personally, I think he needs to be with a professional, or a lawyer, a doctor, but someone who is, I told him, someone who's busy, who has their life, but sees his life is her downtime for fun. You know what I'm saying? So like, understand.
We're talking about you, Lenny, just for you.
Yeah, we're talking about you. Behind your back to your face.
We're talking about what type of girl would be good for you. Sorry, I didn't know you.
Yeah, so someone who is a professional who has their career is is his.
See, listen, everybody. Yo, Lenny, this is so crazy. When she was talking all that dog stuff, she couldn't go into 2G. Now all of a sudden we talk about you. All of a sudden she freezing up, and look at her. She in suspense. There you go. Are you back?
The Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You hear me? You can't hear me?
No, we got you now. Because when we heard the background music, I have
your Wi-Fi together. My Wi-Fi has not frozen. You're frozen again.
Look at it. Yeah, that's a nice picture. Okay, now you gotta enhance your
Wi-Fi game.
Don't try to deflect. The point is,
we got a joke on this show. It's called 2G. You're doing a lot of 2G.
He needs someone that wants to be a wife. I think in Lenny's mind, he wants a wife, but he wants her to be a trophy too. No, you don't get both. We in a goddamn pandemic. You get a wife, you get somebody who's professional, and you get somebody who's gonna want to live a life with you and be supportive emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. You need a real woman. You don't need a Barbie doll. Okay?
I prayed for certain things in my life. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what I prayed for, but we all have
preferences,
appreciation for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right? I agree. Yes.
Whether it's material, personal, luxury. Yes. I'm telling you, I want a woman of a certain standard. Now, I'm not going to get into details of that standard, but she has to be of a certain standard. So I'm going to dismiss what you just said.
I'm talking about values.
I'm talking about values too. I'm talking about values as well. But because of what I prayed for, I can't. No disrespect. I can't lower my standard for what you're saying.
Okay.
So I'm not.
I don't want you to lower your standard. I want you to have
I'm not accepting everything that you had laid out so elegantly, and it was nice and it was cute. But I'm not just opening my doors for everyone who you don't understand what kind of platform you're on right now. We're talking to Bill Foster. Bill Foster has a huge platform, an international platform, and you just opened up the door to just.
So
no.
How about this? Now I'm gonna be quiet storm with this. See, because everybody don't know, this is what I used to do, talk relationship stuff. So it's just my pleasure to be with Indy and Kent and Lenny and Indy on this, because so as we get older, is it fair to say, Lenny, excuse me, I'm mixing your names up, you two.
That's cute, Lindy.
No, but hold on. Before you say what you're going to say, Bill, you've known me the longest, Bill.
Yes, absolutely.
You know me longer than Indy.
Oh, no. Oh, I know. I'm listen.
So don't ask me a question, Bill. Don't ask me a question. You're going to put me in a certain situation. I see you going.
No. I'm going to be politically correct.
What the hell? This is Real Talk Chronicles.
Ooh, bang. I got to go now. I got to go. That's
what
it.
What are we doing?
Is it fair to say that the older we get, we are not lowering our standards for no reason whatsoever?
No. I keep it sexy all the time.
So my point is, because Unc has a slogan. He's not doing any builder end workshops. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing when you're 20 and you meet somebody, or let's be fair, depending on college or working, whatever your standards are when you're growing up, because the bottom line is meeting someone that's working at McDonald's and you're in college, it's kind of a fair exchange. One's going to school, one's hustling. But now, are you working at McDonald's and I graduated from college and you're still working at McDonald's and you're not thinking about owning a McDonald's? Yeah, I don't need you to be the crew chief. You understand what I'm trying to say? So does the balance of scales start tipping where, like, all right, I'm going in a certain place and you're not staying with me? Because Indy has said certain things in regards to you, Barbie, trophy, but wanting a woman to still wanting to be loved by you. Now, I have my perception of what you want, and I'll keep that to myself unless somebody asks me. But Oh, Anna said Lenny scared. Tabitha said, Indy, what you drinking? oh, Yolanda. Yolanda said, tell us, Lenny. Lenny, they want to know. Michelle said, Lenny, stop looking. God will send you the right one when you least expect it. Shit.
No, wait a minute. Who was that? Who was that, Bill? What's her name?
Michelle.
Shout out to Michelle. So this is the thing. I had two visions.
She's in Memphis.
I had two vision boards. I've created two vision boards in my life. And both of them had, like.
And there she goes again.
2G.
So I have one vision board. I do have a vision board. I wrote down specifics of what I want here. Career, personal, family. So when she becomes unfrozen, you could tell her that part.
So I know if you're about to go on the air, Lenny, let me ask you a question. I know you believe in love signs, right?
I think it helps. I think love signs are great to learn a different aspect of the person that you're involved in. If you know that your person loves words of affirmation, that means they want to hear certain things. So I think it triggers our mind if we're thinking, and we should be thinking in relationships. I think we get the relationship and then we kind of go into expectation, or I got the prize, so we don't think anymore. I try to pay attention. I'm a guy who I pay attention, just like I may have told you, Indy, or maybe I told you, Bill, at some point. I look at people when they don't even know I'm looking at them. Like, I'm a people watcher, and I think we all are people watchers. So if I'm in a relationship and my lady is looking at something, note it. I already know. She talks about something. I note it. I note it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Lenny, so is it fair to say if y'all walk by a jewelry store and she's looking at a ring,
then that's why I call Bill up and say, Bill, you got that black card, don't you?
No, you know what you better do? You better be like, oh, did you see that over there? You better throw the trick on her if she ain't the one.
Well, I've met gold diggers upon gold diggers.
No, I was just saying that in lieu of not her being such a gold digger, but just in the point of if somebody is in a certain mind frame where they're ready to go someplace and you may not be, and you might be ready to go someplace, because I know a lot of times at certain ages, some people don't date just to date. You're dating now for a purpose. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people think they date for purposes, but they really don't. But some people really at certain ages are dating for purposes. Now, I think I'm going to ask you, Lenny, and I'll ask you, Indy, first, and then I'll let Lenny chime in because I know Lenny looking at that board. So do you think the older you get takes away from the time of courting? Like, when you're younger, you may have 5-6 years, but at a certain age, and I'll just say our age for political correctness, Indy, would you say like, 2 years? If you ain't put a ring on it, I'm out, or 1 year, or 6 months, 7? What do you think, Indy?
No, not me personally. No. I think courting is forever. Even if the date is going to the supermarket, which it is, or going to wash clothes, which it is, like, I enjoy the person that I'm with. I want to court him forever. Now, as far as like where we are and if we both want to get married, and if you put pressure and time on that, I've found there's something else going on. The same way you met and you're supposed to be, the same way you're courting and you're supposed to be, is the same way you all are going to get that house because it's supposed to be, it's the right house. Or it's the same way you all are deciding to be married because it's supposed to be. And I personally want that. I don't want, and if you don't do this because there's something else going on. Do I really want to be married to you, or do I want my timeline, my window to be closed so I don't look like a loser? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's absolutely right is right for everybody, and everybody's window is different. But please don't be with people because you don't want to look like you're not married, but you're supposed to be, or like I'll Real Talk Chronicles. He asked me, do you want a ring or do you want a house? Do you want a ring or do you want a house? And I said, I want both. I want both of them. But guess what? I can buy the pretty jewelry later. His mindset is to get me a place to live. You care about my well-being so that I'm safe in a space. I don't need a ring right now. Let's get the house. I can get the ring. Shoot, I might not want the ring. What happens, God forbid, I get a ring and I have an accident, I don't have hands. What the hell am I gonna do with the ring? And that's my answer. And without hands.
Creative. You put it on a chain and shit and wear it as a necklace. I'm just playing. I'm just being a joker. Shout out to your significant other. If he's watching, tell him I said hello.
He's in the background. He's back there. But seriously. But the mere fact that he asked me that means more to me. That means he's thinking, and he knows. Of course, she wants a ring, but I want to see where her head is. I said, but don't ever test me again, because now you got to get me a house and a ring, and they're both going to be very expensive. No, I didn't say that.
No, you meant it. You meant it, and that's okay. And because you know what's so funny, I think we all deserve what we want. Right. I'm a firm believer in that. Like that, them days of settling for shit.
It doesn't work. It's like buying a cheap car and patching it up and it keep breaking down. Just save the money and get the car you want. Get a new one. Get something you can ride out and it's yours.
Listen, I tell people all the time, I wasn't selling for shit. That's why Malika and I got married, because you know what's so funny? I kissed a lot of frogs and I thought they were turning into princesses and shit. And then they still was. I was like, oh, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Bill, was it more about your mindset changing and you recognized her than it was she was the right one?
I think it was both. I put it in God's hands, to be honest with you. I'm gonna answer your question, Tanisha, but I put it in God's hands, to be honest with you. I can't, how you always say, like I've dated people that are in the show. She froze up everybody. I'm gonna talk to y'all because she froze up. Everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Alyson is on the men. We miss you, Allie. We love you. If you're watching, we holding it down. I got Indy and I got Lenny Green in the building, so we are chopping it up. So what it was, I tell Lenny and I'll tell you, when at that time I had kissed this frog, kissed that frog, and dated this person, monetarily successful, beautiful, whomever, right? But I found out sometimes they were just as shallow as the one that didn't have it and felt intimidated by what I was doing, because I was in a plethora of things, promotions, hanging out in the industry sometimes, law enforcement. So I was busy. I was making it happen. I was that dude, still that dude. I'm just a married dude now. Now my wife gets all the accolades. You know what I'm saying? But it's all right. I have no problem sharing the throne. See, it's nothing wrong with sharing the throne as long as you got somebody to share the throne with. But the problem is sharing the throne with somebody that doesn't have your back. Then you're like, oh, I can't even trust you. You understand what I'm saying? But with that and saying all of that is that at the time when I met Malika, I had been ready. I think I had been ready years ago. I think maturity, and God knew that maybe I was a hot mess and it probably wouldn't have lasted if I would have got young when I was younger, because there are so many people when I got married that was like, you got married? Because all the time before they thought it was me. I was the reason why we didn't make it, but it was you. You really wasn't the one. You know what I'm saying? That glass slipper didn't fit your foot. So, you tried to squeeze it in, but it just wasn't happening. With that and saying all of that, when I met Malika, our first date, it was so transparent. That turned me on more than anything, is the fact that this woman right here would break herself down in a conversation with me with no transparency, and vice versa. And so that was, besides her being beautiful to me, her being a career woman and stuff like that, and being a boss, that started reaching, like what Lenny was saying, how you have criterias and checkpoints.
Right.
Now she's checking all the boxes.
Right.
Now she checked all the boxes. So along our dating path, Malika never said to me, yo, what's up? She said, I'm never going to pressure you to marry me. But if you go get a ring, I'm going to say yes. You know what I'm saying? So like letting you know, like she's not telling me I don't know how long I'm going to be here if you don't.
Right.
Said, I'm not going to pressure you. Like she was a boss in that aspect. Malika and I, the beautiful thing about us being full transparent, like we are a lot alike. We always had a joke in the beginning, like she was maybe the female version of me and I'm the male version of her in a sense, you know, and just how we were living our lives. And when I say living our lives, I'm talking about independently, not looking back. Like, yo, if we spilled milk, we're not crying over that. You know what I'm saying? So we just keep moving. So when we got together, it just was dynamic. Now everything is work. You understand what I'm saying? But is it good work? See, that's the one thing that you have to understand about being in relationships. Tanisha asked me a question. She said, nowadays folks are unstable though. It's not about money yet chemistry. Do you agree, Uncle Bill? Money will always play important factor in relationships. I don't think I've always said I've always been financially secure, right? I personally, and I've done it. I'm speaking from experience, everybody. That's why I'm saying what I can do. I could never date somebody that wasn't on the same level with me. Because financially, because I wouldn't respect you. I wouldn't respect you because you can't tell me anything. Like my ego is not that big. My ego is not in my private where I have to feel like I have to control you. I don't need a woman coming to me asking me for money. I want to give my woman money. And now, don't get me wrong. If my woman doesn't have money, of course I'm going to give it to her. But the fact that she's not working for whatever reason, and she's not hustling to do it, it's another thing with, you know, Obamacare at the time when they was talking about not Obamacare, when recession happened and people lost their jobs. I get that. But let me tell you something. I dated a woman at the time, and she was talking about she was looking for a job. And I saw her go on the computer for 5 minutes and then come back, and we start drinking champagne together. I said, "You looking for a job?" Like what kind of shit is that? Because
so it's about a mindset for you. It's if you're on the same level as me financially, I know, because unless you have a trust fund, I know you've worked hard and you've made choices to be consistent and stay stable. So I can respect that. So
I'm gonna bring Lenny in, but I'm gonna just tell the story. And I always say this: I'm a hustler, right? God forbid I would have lost any job and I didn't have a choice in what to do. I would go down to New Jersey Turnpike and work at one of these gas stations and pump gas. Do anything I have to do to survive, to put money. Like I'm not going without money. And all the people I know, somebody could drive by and be like, "Oh shit, Bill, what's up? You here?" I may lie and be like, "Yo, what's up, man? I own this gas station. This is mine, but I just gave the guy a break to go, you know what I'm saying, to go to the bathroom. Yeah, what you want? High test? You want, premium? What you want? Yeah, come by, ask for me. I'll be here. Yeah, this is my gas station." I'd be lying, but I'm a hustle and get that money. You understand what I'm saying?
That's Capricorn.
I hate lazy people.
That's Capricorn.
I hate lazy people. I don't like people that sit back and try to feed off the ground of other people. Let me tell you something. Lenny, you know this, and correct me if I'm wrong. People look at you on the air. You're an air personality, but I've known you for so many years. You are probably one of the most, I don't like me for Lenny Green, the air personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want somebody to like you for Lenny. We had extensive conversations about that. So that's why I was just saying how finding, I was co-signing what you were saying about finding somebody that you have a checklist. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a checklist because you want to be happy in the end, correct?
You got to be. Otherwise, you're not going to stay. It's just like, we all have standards. I had a question when you talked about a moment ago, if a woman wasn't making an equivalent or close to what you expect, you wasn't going to have it. You wouldn't respect her. I had a question last week. I can't date somebody who what? I can't date somebody who finished a sentence. So there was a couple of ladies who called in, and 2 ladies who called in said the same thing. They said, I'm not dating a man who is not financially up to par to where I'm at. And then obviously the other thing was, I'm not dating a man who can't put it down right in the bedroom, because I get, I don't want to be bored. I don't want to be the initiate. I don't want to be the one who's teaching him. I want to be satisfied. And I think, you have, and that's going back to love languages that you had said, Bill, because I think this is where that little wonderful alignment happens, and it's just, it's 5, Indy. I think it's 5. It's gifts, acts of service, personal touch, words of affirmation, and there's something else. I always keep missing one, but I think that's
affirmation, touch, acts of service, gifts is one, and time, spending time. So quality spending time, physical touch, quality time, spending quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts.
And that's where, sounds silly, sounds stupid, but those little areas, and there's more, because I think they've expanded on it to deal with other things. Those little areas right there are really key ingredients initially. Like, it's important that you understand who you and what they require, and you got to be honest with yourself and ask yourself if you can fulfill that. If you can't fulfill that, then they're going to be empty, and you're going to be like, well, what's wrong with them? But it's not what's wrong with them. This is what they require. But because we're horrible communicators, men are horrible communicators. But what I've learned is that women are just as horrible in communicating. So if 2 people aren't communicating effectively or apprehensive in expressing what they want or what they desire, then it's going to go unanswered, unsatisfied, and that's not going to get checked off. And you can surpass it because of, you might think she's a dime or whatever the case may be, he's tall, dark, and handsome, but eventually it's going to come back to you, and you're going to go back to what you require, what you're looking for, what you want. So that's why I said I have a standard that I would like to have, but I'm not trying to open up the floodgates and say, hey, everybody, come on in here. No, get the fuck out of here. No, it's not going to happen like that. So, I mean, I'm sorry to be so vulgar. I'm sorry.
No. This is real talk. This is real talk.
Because you know what? I mean, like, a few people know me, and that's nice, and that's fine, and that's wonderful. And I thank everyone who takes the time out of their personal life to even give me 5 seconds of their listening ear or stay with me for as long as they have stayed with me, because I do know that a lot of people embrace the show, and I'm thankful and grateful for that. But, I mean, there's a personal life to all of us. And, this is my job. This is the gift that God has given me. And I'm utilizing the gifts that he's given me. And I'm going to continue to utilize it as much as I possibly can. But that doesn't mean that I'm desperate and I'm in need. No, look, I'm on an assignment. God has me on an assignment. And I don't know what the assignment requirements are. I'm still asking and getting an idea. I know I've put all of it in his hands in terms of certain things. And I'm going to be the guy. I'm not a thirsty guy. So I'm not a guy who's going to beg. And I'm not, I know they say men are the chasers. I'm a retired wolf that's not chasing. Like, you got to meet me halfway. I'm going to express, if I'm spending time with you, pay attention to this. This is a keynote moment. If I'm spending time with you, I ain't spending time with you just because your hair looks nice or you smell good. Obviously, I must be attracted to more than just that. If you're not catching my vibe and you don't meet me halfway, guess who ain't going to keep following you? I'm not going to keep following you, not because I feel that I'm better. No, I'm not saying that by no means. But I got to know that you want me too. If you don't express any desire in wanting me as much as I want you, ladies, I'm not Mr. Bugaboo. That's not my middle name. I'm not going to bother you. I ain't going to stalk you. I'm just going to fall back. And when I fall back from motherfucker, you'll understand.
Ooh, that's real talk.
That's from Mr. Lenny Green.
There we go.
When he fall back.
I fall back. No hassle. And I won't, with no malice. With no bad taste. God bless you. Obviously, I'm not your cup of tea, coffee, or cappuccino. Okay, cool.
Ooh, don't watch out now for y'all that don't drink cappuccino.
I can't satisfy. Look, I'm not going to meet everybody's standards. I am who I am, and I'm not going to be somebody thinks I should be, because that ain't happening either. And I don't need somebody who needs to be extra, who needs to be carried on, or needs to have a come up game. I'm not that either. I like a woman who's a career-driven woman, who's got something going on herself. But first, God-fearing Christian woman, that's important for me. If you don't have God first and foremost in your life, you can't even talk to me, because I have no time for you. It's just that simple. You don't want games, ladies? I don't want games either. So keep I don't want to spend my money unnecessarily. Don't let me keep spending my money just because I've been down that road too. I'm taking this woman out and I'm keep spending my money, and you're not showing no kind of like appreciation. Yeah, I'll be back.
Everybody, that's Real Talk. This is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Lenny Green, Mr. WBLS, and we got Indy Smith. We had Dr. Marilyn Corder in the building. Oh man, I love it. Listen, Indy, sometimes you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a man that is tired of games. Yeah. That sounds, because don't get me wrong. Before I was dating, I was tired of games too. So we can all be tired of games. I was just saying, Lenny, that sounded like an individual that was you're tired of games. It was so funny when we just want transparency. We want you to like me. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I went to see my boy at his job, and his coworker was there. And I asked her, I said, "How you doing? What's going on?" "Hey, Jennifer," calling on YouTube. She said, "Lenny ain't playing no games in 2022. Jennifer Hendricks." She said, "You ain't playing. You ain't playing. He ain't playing."
I'm not playing. I mean, look, we can play. I'm a playful guy. I really am.
Coochie cool. Yeah, me too.
Right. I am. I'm a playful guy, but unnecessarily, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Not anymore. And I've been through. You have to understand. I'm 82 years old, so I've been through a lot. Right. So if I've been through the mill at 82 years old, what more could you think that I haven't, like, just because you show, I've seen women's bodies before. So yeah, not say that you're not different, because I know you're different. You are that individual, but you don't have anything more than what I've seen before in my life. And if you do have more stacked on top of what you naturally have, well, I don't know if I even want that.
Absolutely. So, because let me tell you something. You could do cartwheels in the bedroom, but listen, when it's time to go pay this rent, what you gonna do? Cartwheels to the rent office? And the bottom line is, if you did cartwheels in the bedroom with me, I wasn't the first one, so you're gonna do cartwheels. You've been doing cartwheels for a long time, so you're a professional cartwheeler.
You know what the new thing is now, guys? I'm not trying to be one of those guys who's smoking out the window.
Oh, okay.
That's that new Bruno Mars Anderson .Paak song. If you haven't heard it,
woo!
I'm leading the pack for all men, all fellas. There may be one other guy on here, Bill, that's watching us. Don't be one of those guys who's smoking out the window.
All right now.
No matter how great she may look, if you keep doing this, spending that money, and you're not getting nothing valuable back in return, and far valuable than what the ladies think, because I'm just as much precious of a gift as just as much as you are, ladies.
Ooh, Lenny dropping jewels, everybody.
Wait. Hold up.
I'm Team Lenny, so let's.
No, I have a question though.
Go ahead.
Now you brought up value. So what's the value? What is that? Because I hear
a lot of women say, "I'm the prize." I'm the prize too.
Absolutely.
Right. You could be a prize, but you're not the only prize. You have to respect. I respect the fact that you're a prize, but you got to respect that I'm the prize as well. It's not I'm the prize, so I should. No. I'm going to flourish you. If you're my woman, you're going to get. Look, I have a love of. I was raised with a lot of love. I have a lot of love stored in my body. I gave my mom a lot of love. Any woman who's a part of my life, you're going to get all the love that I have. I'm going to exhaust my love on you. But understand something. You don't only have the prize. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect the fact that I'm going to compliment the prize by being a part of your life. just like I would expect that you're going to compliment me by being a part of my life. It's a balance.
Hold on.
You're here and I'm here. No.
Let me read some of these comments, everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Lenny Green and Indy Smith. Indy Smith and Lenny Green. We had Dr. Marilyn Corder on. Happy Martin Luther King Day to you all. This is Real Talk Chronicles. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to it, please. Josephine Garcia say, let them know, Lenny. Let them know. If you're on Facebook, share it, subscribe to it. And let me just say, some people are saying here, Stefania says the issue in relationships are so complicated these days. People have made things so difficult. Elizabeth Miller said, you are both the prize in a relationship. What you got to, we could talk about that. Elizabeth also said, nothing in return, fall back. Stefania said, this issue is relaxed. Elizabeth said, correction, no rush. Stefania said, make this a permanent segment. You got to talk to Lenny and Indy on that and see if they get it. Tanisha Lear said, that's right, Lenny. Don't waste no time. Elizabeth said, as you said, you are in no rush. Tamika said, define appreciation. I'll let you go with that. Anna said, Lenny said a lot. Stefania said, Real Talk Chronicles relationship segment. Oh, you already know that. Vivian said, tell them how it is, Lenny. Stefania said, ooh-wee. Let me just Tracy Morton Gordon. She said, can you trust her with your heart? That's important, and it seems like you can. Absolutely, Tracy. Just to finish off that, I've always said the reason why I'm with Malika, I said I've had a lot of women kiss my ass. I've had a lot of women lick my ass, but I haven't had she's the only one that will wipe my ass. You understand what I'm saying? I know. And when I was in the hospital bed, that woman held me down and vice versa. So I know, to go back to what Lenny and I'm sure Indy co-signs.
That's my point.
Checkpoints. Lenny, like when he says checkpoints, I love looking at her. You know what I'm saying? I love being with her. I'm emotionally and physically attracted to her.
You gotta like the person. You gotta
like the person. But the one thing when I go back to what I was saying earlier about being younger and dating to now, at 20 years old, you feel like you may have to sit and watch the same TV program. At the age I am now, if Malika is not, if she don't want to watch football and basketball, that's fine. And if she wants to watch something else, that's fine. That's why we have multiple rooms, and that's why we're both financially secure, so we can have multiple TVs and we can do multiple shit. We know where to meet each other when we want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's real talk.
Yeah, that's real talk. Because the bottom line is, if I have to watch what you like, I'm not saying you're not expanding my mind, and I'm not saying there isn't camaraderie at a point where we want to sit in the same room. Like Malika and I, full transparency, we try to make sure once a week we have a movie night, right? Where it's us and we watch something, a movie, whatever it is. If it's something to make us mad, happy, laugh, sad, like she doesn't like violence, so I mean, she may take a couple of ass whoopings in the movie, but nothing all night. Like, I just want to see somebody get their ass kicked from the beginning of the movie to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can watch John Wick reruns all day, but she may not want to do that. So I know what to watch before, what we're going to watch before we go to bed.
Do you guys have a quiet storm night?
Well, in lieu of that, tell me exactly what a quiet storm night is, because we could have a lot of quiet storm nights. Quiet storm would mean like I fell asleep before her. No. When she fell asleep before
that's a snoozing night.
I know, I'm just playing. What do you mean exactly?
You know exactly what I mean. A quiet storm night.
I'm just gonna keep sipping my juice.
I saw you when you picked up the glass. I'm like, Indy was right on point. You have a movie night. So is a Netflix and chill? That would be a quiet storm night. Yes.
That is prelude after the movie night. You understand, where we have that quality time. It's like a little date night. And I mean, married life is different. Married life is a business. Don't let anybody make you think it's not. It's a business, because we sit down and have meetings about how to make money. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, we have meetings about projects. What do we want to do?
That's awesome, Bill.
Oh, absolutely. This is
you should teach that.
Yeah. So we're not sitting back about you make money and I don't have money, or I'm going to live off you, or you're going to live off me. We sit down, even if the conversations may be uncomfortable. Like I'll give you a perfect example. Malika's very big into real estate and home design and things of that magnitude. She's brought me out of my comfort zone with that, to where like she got me painting and nailing shit on the walls, and I'm like,
So you're a home decorator now, Bill? Are you a home interior decorator? Is that what?
Malika? No, I'm not. No. But I told Malika and her mother, I'm a facilitator. I know how to deck. Okay. Mm-hmm. No.
What? A finger pointer?
Yeah, he doesn't do the work. He assigns the work. That's what he's basically saying.
That's what I'm trying to say. Now I can help you carry a little things here and there, but otherwise than that, I'm not doing that. Tracy said,
and I'm the opposite of that. I'm open for everything. I'm open to engage. I'm open to work along with my partner. I don't want it just to be all about me. I want it to be a collaborative thing. There should be, like you said, date night. That's a given. I think I said this to someone recently. The worst feeling is being in a relationship and you're feeling like you're alone. Damn, I'm already alone by myself if I'm single. So why in the hell I'm going to get in a relationship with you if you're going to make me feel like I'm alone? You're wasting my time. My time is precious.
Yeah.
But Indy, correct me on this or help me out with this. Let me just say this, Lenny, you have a very busy schedule.
It's
and
crazy.
I'm not saying this to say anything good, bad, or negative. I'm just saying this for clarification for those that don't know. And Indy, you've been in school for like countless years. So
10.
I say that because for people that are in your lives, Indy, you already have somebody, but Lenny, somebody in your life, they have to come and understand that this is what this man does. So if you can't compromise, and I don't
like that word.
They come in your life, they have to understand, like, yo, listen, when Lenny says, I have to do this, I have to do that, they can't poke their lip out and say,
well, I mean, here's how it went in the past, and it varies from time to time. I mean, again, I make a person, if you're a part of my life, you become a part of my life.
Absolutely.
So that means if I'm going to an event, chances are you're coming with me.
Absolutely.
Not unless you don't wish to.
Absolutely.
If you don't wish to, I'm not going to, force anybody to come. I get it. So, and my life can be very demanding, but it's cooled down a lot, obviously, since this pandemic happened. I was supposed to be on a cruise right now. So that's changed because pandemic. So I believe in a person who I'm involved in a relationship with. I believe in making them a part of my life. And again, there's no requirement. There's no, how can I say? I'm not saying requirements. It's nothing. You don't have to do it, but at least you can't say you weren't invited to come.
What's so funny? That's awesome.
I'm between two cities right now, and I haven't even started going to the affiliate cities yet.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So the affiliate cities is not going to be an every week thing, but that's maybe once a month. I might go to the cities, the other cities that the show is in, to show support, or I might fly into a city on one day and fly out the next day to host an event. So that part of my life hasn't kicked in yet, and who knows what else God has for me. So I want a person to be able to be stable, and if they have flexibility, and I can bring them along with me, hopefully they'll be willing to come.
Let me ask you a question, Indy. I know you do a lot of traveling too, so I don't know if this is already happening or not. But let me ask Lenny this question. Oh, go ahead, Lenny.
Okay.
Would you do a long-term relationship?
You mean a long distance?
Yeah, long distance. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not really.
That was a pause.
It was a pause because again, I said not really, because again, I'm in between two cities now. I'm in New York and I'm in Miami, so I'm always back and forth.
But hold on, Lenny. Hold that thought. Now you're in the two cities right now. Unless one city like captivated you so much, or maybe a relationship, the bottom line is, who knows how long you may do this? I mean, this is a career move for you right now. So right now you were able to do this career. Hold on, you were able to do this career, this fluctuation in your career. But the thing is, somebody coming in your life, she might be like, "Yo, Lenny, okay, I get it." I mean, she's a lawyer, cases, or she's or some kind of business
lawyer. I said lawyer.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying a lawyer because a lot of times, as he's working during the night, she may be studying for a trial. You understand what I'm saying? Because to be in the same city doesn't mean you're going to be together. Because the bottom line is, she could be in another. No, go ahead, Lenny. I know.
No, you're right. No, you're right. She could be in Queens, and I could be in the Bronx, and that doesn't mean that we're going to see each other and we're in the same state.
Right.
Because I've had that. I've been living in one place and the person's living in another place. So yeah, I mean, busy lives are busy lives. Obviously, if I'm going to get involved, if I've decided to commit myself to a relationship, that means I'm willing to spend quality time in that relationship. It's almost like I want a plant, but I don't want to water it. Why you get a damn plant?
Watch out, everybody. Let me just read a comment from my girl, Michelle.
Hold that thought, Bill. I got to go right.
All right, go ahead. I got you. Elizabeth said, many do not understand that, Bill. I know, I definitely. Vivian said, agree, Lenny. Let's acknowledge that we are both the prize. Michelle says, before I met my husband, and Indy, before, if Lenny can't hear this, I'll let you comment on it. Michelle, or just agree or disagree, whatever. But maybe it's just a statement. I haven't read it yet. Michelle said, before I met my husband, I had been in and out of relationship with my son's father for 14 years. Not because of insecurities, but because I love hard. On our first month of dating, I laid down my standards. And to this day, he knows I will leave him at the drop of a dime. He knows I don't need him in my life. I want him in my life. We've been married for 12 years now. He gets on my nerves sometimes, but he's mine. That's a beautiful thing. I'm glad. Yeah. Tracy, what's up, Trace? She said, that's getting to the heart of the matter. You both secure in who you are and what you both bring to the table. And that's very important. Absolutely. Tanisha said, oh shit, Uncle Bill, you painting now? I'm gonna tell Autumn. Yeah, tell Autumn I'm painting. She also said, hey, you gotta be with someone that's very understanding. Vivian Garcia said, I can relate. As a teacher, there are times when you don't have much time for anything else. Most men do not understand that I can't go out as oftentimes. I choose to stay home and just chill. Absolutely. Elizabeth also said, I said it before, only a strong, secure, confident woman can stand alone. You're not alone due to Lenny's work schedule. If she cannot travel at the time. Stefania said, maybe Lenny needs a stay-at-home wife. Tanya told me, I want to plant, but maybe I don't want to water it. A whole statement. Wow.
So
dropping jewels. What's up, Jay Burnett in the building? Indy, what do you got to go ahead, Indy?
I'm listening, and basically I know y'all don't agree with me on this when I say this, but y'all know I don't compromise. I don't believe in the word. I don't believe in that when it comes to being in when I hear and see compromise, I think to be compromised. It's unnecessary. You may make allowances and sacrifices, but the same way you have these standards, that means you're not willing to compromise. So why compromise? But what I am hearing is, it's easy to sit here and talk about what you want and know who you are and feel how you feel. And I've been through this, but one thing that I hold on to that my grandmother has told me, Bashan, you're born, you're not buried. You still living. You're not buried yet. You don't know what you're going to come to. You don't know what's going to happen in your life that's going to turn a circumstance that you don't like into something that you absolutely love. You just don't know. You're born, you're not buried.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. What's up, Jay Burnett, my dude? You said you don't compromise, right?
No.
But what's the other word you said? You might do something else?
Make allowances, sacrifices, but to compromise.
So let me ask you a question. What's the difference between compromise, allowances, and sacrifices?
Well, like I said, when I hear compromise.
No, I don't want to know what you hear. I want to know what the difference is.
Oh, the difference, like I will sacrifice. Sacrifice is I will put something that maybe I have to do, or something that maybe I wanted, I will make a sacrifice. I will take that away and in turn put something else there if you need that. If you
Go
need
ahead,
a
Lenny.
comfort.
Go, Lenny.
I will, if I let's say I wanted to get chicken the other night, okay? But he didn't want chicken, he wanted something else, right? I'm not compromising not having
Lenny
chicken.
eating at this.
Because Indy and I, we have this. I know where her nerve point is, and it's not. You know what? It's the word for whatever. I think we have to have somebody psychoanalyze this, Indy, because it's
And
the
can we
word
have
that
a linguist come in?
we're gonna have to have. See, that's that liquor. We'll have to have her
This
psychoanalyzed
ain't liquor.
because it's the word. There's something about that word, Indy, and the reason why I
And
say that.
submit. I hate that word too. That's submission shit.
Okay. So, but it's the word. No, I'm trying to get to the point, Bill, because can you just use the words? One of the words that you just said a moment ago is equivalent. What can you run down those words that you said, Indy, a moment ago?
Sacrifice and allowances.
Okay. The word sacrifice.
Right.
It's equivalent
to compromise.
To compromise. It's equivalent.
Right.
You have a problem with the word for whatever reason, and that's why I need you to be psychoanalyzed. Because
well, I told Bill I wanted him to. I told Bill I wanted him to psychoanalyze me. I told him, I was like, please.
I'm on it right now. I got the notepad. You ain't saying a
word. Bill,
it's
Bill,
not.
with
not
all due
the
respect,
action of not.
Bill, her case is far greater than what we can figure out. We need somebody who she doesn't know. See, she knows this.
Oh, okay. You saying this? It might be above my pay grade because I didn't get the degree in it, but I took the class.
Bill, we know your pay grade is very high.
No, but I'm just saying this might be above my pay grade. I mean, listen.
I'm just saying we need somebody.
I know I can get with the I may not get to 10, but I can get to 5.
It's not very kind. It's not kind to passive aggressively call somebody crazy when they're being very transparent and vulnerable with you. That's not
Lenny.
very
That's
kind.
Lenny. I didn't say it. Oh, that's your part, Lenny.
I wasn't trying to call you crazy. I'm just trying to get
Bill.
Oh, see?
Wait a minute. How you get to me? I was co-signing your shit, Indy.
It's above my pay grade.
See, that's
I don't know. I might get to 5. I can't get to 10.
Well, wait a minute. Listen, Indy, let me just say why I was co-signing it. Lenny said he wanted you to be psychoanalyzed. Indy, you gave me the privilege. You said I wanted me to do that, right? Yes. But the way Lenny was saying about the verbiage, because I already know you have a problem with the verbiage. Because to know you have a good heart. I know that. So we have to find out. Now, if you really want me to go into my Sigmund Freud with you,
come on.
We need to find out why those words bother you. What happened? What happened down that road where somebody told you that you had to compromise or you had to or submit to a certain thing? Because the bottom line is, now here we go in a spiritual and a biblical thing. If you talk to anybody that's in the Bible, they'll tell you that a woman is supposed to be submissive to a man. Now, I'm not sitting here talking all that shit.
That's why I don't read it.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't tread those waters.
No, but listen, I'm not sitting here saying that either. But the bottom line is, no man wants a combative woman either, right?
Right.
So the thing is, what makes you feel comfortable? It's not the verb. So you're going to do what you want to do because you want to do it, but you just don't want to hear somebody ask you or tell you to do it. So
no. Let me explain. I can tell you.
To a gang fight? You want out the cold?
Yeah, where you going? What is going on?
We're in the battle zone with Indy, so I gotta be ready.
Oh Lord. Oh God. No. So this is the thing.
Hey Kendra, what's going on, everybody? Yeah.
I think that. Well, okay, no. So I'll be transparent. I don't like the usage of the word because I have been compromised in relationships.
Okay.
I've put myself in situations where when I was naive, you don't know what you don't know, right? And so I've put myself in situations in relationships where I was compromised. Like I was not safe, used, threatened, manipulated. And it was because I was taught that, you compromise. You make these sacrifices. Not everything, it's not always your way. And that's true. But to what extent? And so I think when you're ignorant to self, when you don't know who you are, you don't know your worth, you don't know that you shouldn't be making these choices because this person is not meeting you halfway, you will compromise and compromise and compromise and do and do and do. And then at some point, it becomes abusive. But because you don't know, you can't, you have to take responsibility for your own choices as well. So now, fast forward 20 years, I hear the word and the trigger is, damn, I wish my people understood what they were saying, because language is so important. It's so important. We're so used to throwing things out there and going along with it that we don't even realize that we're living the lives that we speak, and we shouldn't even be speaking that way. No, I don't believe in compromise, because compromise to me means to be in a compromising position.
Let me just say something real quick.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hendricks said, I think the words are from YouTube. She said, I think the words are just controlling and demeaning to you, Indy. You prefer something less strong of words. Indy, let me just say this. I think, from listening to what you said, and then I'll let Lenny come in, I think compromise was used with being naive to a certain degree. And now it's a defensive mechanism. When you hear that word, it's on guard. Not that you are that hardened person. It's just that you feel that you did that when you were trying to be a certain person, and because they would, that whomever that person is that damaged and took advantage of you right now, they may have used that word when you were being naive and say, "Oh, come with me here. You're not compromising with me. If you come with me here."
Right.
But you being naive, and then like you said, now you put me in a situation like, "Oh my God, where am I at?" And then
right.
I tried to be nice to this punk, you know what I'm saying? And look where he put me in, a situation either it's life threatening or unconducive to whom you are as a person. So right now, it's the trigger word. It's like in the movie, The Sunken Place. You get out, and they said a certain word, and then clicking on the glass or a certain word freezes you or hypnotizes you. So I think for the indie, and this is the quick point with Bill, this is the psychoanalyzing. Stay away from the word. Don't worry about the word, and watch the actions.
Oh, right.
Because the person going forward, i.e. your significant other now, if he says, do this with me, and what we say is the word compromise triggers you, and you're going to say, no, I don't have to compromise with, instead of saying, if you love me, you would trust me. You understand what I'm saying? See, me going forward, this is what I would say and tell him to say, or if I was in a relationship with you, I would say, trust me going forward. Because the compromise is going to always be, it's like a man playing with a battered woman, and he goes like this, and come here, girl, and grab her. And she's like, oh, get off me. Because I was hit before, so I don't like nobody playing with their hands with me. And you be like,
with him, I've never been compromised or had to compromise. That's what I'm saying. Like with it, it's almost like you have to see it to believe it. When you're with the person that your spirit is at home with, I'll say that there is no compromise. Like everything is, my sacrifices are joy. It's like, wow, I want to do this.
Well, that's a testament, and that's, take a hat off to him, because, he has taken the time to understand who you are.
And it's him too. It's his temperament.
That's what I said.
I am a piece of work, or as Lenny says, I'm a piece of change.
Word. I'm gonna say you, but you a hot mess. You a sister, but you my hot mess. Go ahead, Lenny. I know you wanted to say something.
Well, I don't think I need to expand more than what you said.
Okay.
Because the bottom line is, you went through a bad experience.
Experiences.
The person who put you through this bad experience either said that word, was associated with that word, and you found yourself, in a very uncomfortable emotional situation. So, because sacrifice and compromise, to me, is equivalent, but that word, because of what the experience of what you endured, has such a bad, negative, dark side to it. When you hear it, you just what's that famous word you used?
What? Twitch.
You twitch.
Yeah.
That's your because anytime
give y'all a hand, like, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, ladies, I know y'all can't see me, I can't see you, but this is what we need. We need real men talking to women vulnerably, transparent, and not demeaning each other, but having the conversation.
Yes, ladies, that's what you need. But the problem is, ladies, you pick the wrong damn men, and then you have the nerve to stereotype all of us. That's the problem y'all have. Instead of I'm sorry, let me control.
Where do we go? Okay, he's triggered. You got it now. Now it's his turn, Bill.
No,
but Lenny,
that's true.
Lenny, I agree. I will say that one of my triggers in the past, and probably still to this day, even if it was a conversation like this, and I have to understand when you proctor things like these, Lenny, like we've done, and sometimes I haven't done it in a while, but I still love to do it, is that when I hear the word where a woman will say, a real man would do this, or a certain man would do, you'd be like, wait a minute. Like I tell people all the time, each man is different. Because he doesn't do what you want him to do doesn't make him a less of a man. And the bottom line is, if he does what he wants to do, because men, we are here to please. A real man is going to try to please you, right? Let's just keep it 100. Not be just like Lenny said earlier, like we're not trying to be no doormat. We're not just going to be the guy out the window kind of thing, but we're going to try to please you. Women, you do understand, you do hold the power. You got the power. You like the song. So we are going to try to please you. But for any relationship that one is in, the standards for what that woman deems a man is going to differ. Besides being breadwinner, protector. Because there might be a woman that says, I like a real man would be a handyman. Fuck out of here. Or a real man, he would get out the door and open up my door before when we stop and do this. Get out of here, chick. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what one woman deems a man. Now, I can only be the man that my mother and daddy raised. And then I'm going to be the man that compromises to make my woman happy. Right? But there's certain, I never forget one time, and I'm gonna read some of the comments, and then I'm gonna let Lenny and Indy say whatever they want to say, but I'm read some comments. I never forget one time I met a woman. She was like, yeah, on a first date, I want to go to a play, I want to go to dinner, and she said she wanted to go someplace else. I said, what? I said, well, what are we gonna do on the second date? I said, you getting all that shit in the first date, and that's just to get to know you? I said, yeah, you're a clown. Get out of here. That's not happening. But I'm sure there was somebody that would do that for her. Maybe he had her here. She wasn't there to me. It takes I don't really know if anybody's going to be there for me to, go ahead, Lenny, go. All right. I don't know. Listen, because I think this, when it comes to self-esteem, Indy, I've never viewed myself lower than any woman. Like when I walked in the room, I've never viewed myself lower than any man. Like I want to hear the drum roll when I walk in. Yeah, that's confidence personified. That's why I always have a joke and I say unlimited swag, because that's just who I am. You're not going to see, when you look over in the corner and you see me talking to three other dudes, you're not going to see the same thing. You're not going to see the button down and uptowns. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. You're going to see something different. So I think we need to understand who we are. I think it all starts from confidence and believing in ourselves. And we've all been damaged. But that was the whole gist about Real Talk. It's to always be transparent. And I appreciate you for saying that earlier and understanding how we become better people. Because If we're not trying to be better people, then we just talking gibberish. We're just talking to be
right.
talking.
Right. And then it goes back to the beginning of the show when we were having the conversation about community. So, are we going to really have this conversation, or are we going to talk on the surface? Do you want to invest in my life and I invest in your life? Then what am I bringing to the table? And what are you bringing to the table? What are my weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? Are we bringing other people into this, i.e. children? Then what's our foundation? Like real conversations. Well, am I your proxy? You want me to be your proxy? If all else fails and shit hits the fan, are you gonna run to your mama to tell her to cook for you? Or like people need to have these real conversations so that they can't infiltrate our family. They're infiltrating our family because all we want is like butt injections and goddamn Louboutins.
Yeah.
Like what the really?
I'm gonna read some comments, you two, and then I'll let y'all say whatever y'all want to say. Stefania, hold on. Wait a minute. Tanya Taylor said, Lenny, she says, I want a plant, but maybe I don't want to water it. That's a whole statement. Jay Burnett said, I think settling is the word. What's up, cousin Kendra? Tracy Morton Gordon said, an agreement or a settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concession. That's a compromise. Okay. Jay Burnett said, Lenny looking like LL. Mama said, knock you out. Tracy said, also accept standards that are lower than desirable. Stefania said, very interesting. Tracy also said, submissive, ready to conform to authority or will of others, being meekly obedient or passive. Elizabeth said, Indy played the role trying to please, and she refused to do it again. This time it will be her choice. Jay, whatever you had said before, Lenny, he said facts. Elizabeth said, Indy, it's all good. You are not going down that road again. That's your choice. I love it. In capital letters, too. Oh, my God. Michelle said, compromise benefits both, whereas a sacrifice usually only benefits one person. Jay Burnett said, try to please you. Yes, but also keep 100 with women also. Stefania is laughing. Jay Burnett said, self-esteem is key. Stefania said, I think a lot of people don't have realistic expectations. AJ Miller in the building. He said, my man Lenny. He said, let me borrow $2.
He's a millionaire.
Exactly. Michelle Ivy said, do you think the roles are changing? What's up, Sylvia? Good evening, Bill and guests. Do you think the roles are changing in a relationship?
Gender roles? You're talking about gender roles.
I'm assuming that's the question. Yes.
I mean, look, I it's interchangeable roles. I mean, what some men back in the day wouldn't do. Like, I'll share this with y'all because I think I've said it before on some other occasion. I was raised a certain way, and the way I was raised was to be dependent. So I had to depend on a woman. So my mom taught me how to wash, how to cook, how to sew, how to press, the basic little stuff that some guys have a tendency either they don't do or they don't know how to do. I come equipped to be able to do that. So is that a gender role? I mean, I'm a bachelor, so I ain't the neatest cat in the world. But once I get something neat, I'm good. But I have to take care of my home, and right now I'm living in two homes. So I don't know how, I know that from a man's standpoint, it's like a woman would want a man to protect her. Back in the day, in the land of our motherland, there are women who are warriors. There are women who are fighters. I want to make sure. Look, if I'm going down and I'm protecting us, and somebody else jumps in, I want to know. Can you take care of one of these motherfuckers off of me?
Listen, Malika will tell you. I always tell her, if it ain't on me, this is where it's at. Go get it and get the firing. Bust some caps, baby. Listen.
You gotta do something, man. You can't just sit there like, oh, me and I'm getting my ass kicked. What? You're not gonna do nothing? Get out of here.
Bust that person upside the head with a bottle or pipe or something.
Do something. Do something. You can't be a punk. You gotta do something. So has gender roles changed?
Well, Lenny, I got a message, and the person told me to tell you. They said, let Lenny know I'm sunlight direct to medium. I need to be watered at least 2 times a week.
You know what? I don't want to know who that person is.
I do.
Of course you do.
Well, they said they'll tell you their name off the air if you want to know. But right now.
So wait. So okay, but Lenny, you said all that. But what about the men that say, There are men and women out there that say, if you can do everything, what is he there for? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you
well, that goes back. I don't mean to cut you, Indy. I was in a relationship where she was alpha female.
Right.
You're right. Like, if you're going to do everything,
right.
What's my purpose?
No, just because I'm like you. Like my mom taught me to have my own, and they may be crooked a few times, but I know how to hang a picture. I know how to paint a room. I know,
right.
Seriously, I'm pretty handy. I just installed the new pieces of the toilet in my mom's toilet. I fixed that. I just, I carry stuff. I can't no more. I have a pinched nerve. I'm in trouble because of that. But I can do stuff, right? And so it's innate for me to be independent and to have. And I may not have a lot, but what I do have, I share it. And I know how to multiply it. And I've always had my own. So people will, I always tell people, if you know me, if you're my friend, you'll never be homeless and you'll never be hungry. I got places to live, and I always keeps me some food. I'm a hoarder, right? So, but yeah, so how are you an independent woman? And then how do you begin to make space for someone without knowing that they're there to improve and share and not deplete what you've worked so hard to have as an independent woman?
Lenny, I'm gonna let you answer that question. I just want to read this statement. Sylvia said, women want men to be independent, but also be everything she needs. She wants it. She also said companionship. Shout out to Sil, my childhood friend, 640 in the building. Lenny, I'm just going to say this, that you, like me, our mothers, and then I'll let you, I'll yield back to you. Our mothers and fathers, my mother and father raised me to be independent. So I don't need Malika to do anything for me. Whatever she does is a bonus. But as my wife, there are expectations, just like as a man, she has expectations for me to protect her and do certain things. I'm not going to let my woman carry a bunch of bags from the grocery store and I'm standing there. I'm not going to let my wife do a lot of things if I'm a man. And we've had these discussions. My wife is independent. Malika's independent. But I'll be like, yo, wait a minute. I'm your husband. I'm supposed to do this. You understand what I'm trying to say? So there's a fine line of being independent, and there's a fine line of being groomed, because if I had a child, I would groom my son to wash, cook, clean, and do everything, because he doesn't have to need a woman. But also, too, that's the curse, because I think that makes us so independent that we don't need a woman. And then it comes into a play, which has been that was a big downfall for me. All I needed women for sometimes was just a physical pleasure, because the bottom line is you're not meeting my standards. And maybe the selfishness of me was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take this fruit off this tree until I find. Go ahead.
No, I don't mean to cut you, Bill.
No, please go ahead.
I'm watching a thread that came up from Cendrix, and she says it's about companionship, and that's what it really is about. I mean, I think the ego sometimes, especially when we're younger, we don't know how to balance that ego. We haven't experienced life. it gets in the way of reality.
Right.
Because if you're fortunate to live a longer period of time, you realize there are different perspectives and values and lessons that you have learned over the years, and now you're able to balance out everything as opposed to seeing it the way you saw it as a child or as a younger adult. Because I think if we're brought up in a certain way, and you were blessed, you had a mom and a dad. You know, they brought the value there. I think my grandparents and my mom, you know, they did a lot for us, for myself and the two other boys. For us, none of us have been, you know, on the wrong side of the street. No drugs. We haven't been angels by no means, but you know, we were raised in a proper way to respect, to honor, to protect, and to be and to make sure that you take care of yourself and you take care of your loved ones around you.
Let me just say this, Lenny, too, but also too, I'll say this: having both parents in the house at one point was a gift and a curse, because it was just as great as it was to have a two-family home, a two-parent home. It also wasn't sometimes healthy, because to see them at a point sometime when I didn't think they were happy to be with each other. So as I became a man, my issue still to this day is, do not yell and argue with me. Talk to me, because I saw arguments growing up. You understand what I'm saying? And then for all of us that know, when we were growing up, the old school people stayed together. You understand what I'm saying? Once they were married, they stayed together. If they weren't together, they stayed together. Then they may have got divorced later on in life after the kids grew up and stuff like that. But the thing is, but I had the choice to understand who I was as a man and psychoanalyze myself. And you know what I'm saying? So sometimes we got to do the real soul searching.
Right.
Who we are. And I said to myself, I said, listen, B, do you want to be like your father in this aspect of as a husband? You may want to be like your father in this aspect as a certain aspect of a man, but maybe this part I can leave out. The same thing, maybe there's a part of my mother that, wait a minute, love you to death, but that ain't the woman I'm looking to be with. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So everybody out there, what we're talking about, we need to understand, and this is the whole gist of what Real Talk Chronicles is about. Relationships started from the people that raised us, people that we were around. It can make you, it can break you, you can do a lot of things. But if you don't like the good and the bad of what you have seen or what the way you were raised and who you become, you can change what you are. So, Andy, just to go back to that beautiful thing about that word, and you asked me to look at you like that, that word, you need to tell a person, don't use that word around me. That's like somebody calling me. No, to be honest with you, sis, that's like somebody calling me the N-word. I don't use that verbiage. You understand? You understand what I'm trying to say?
I feel like I'm being a bully by doing that.
No, listen. But see, you can come with explanation. Like, you know how like certain things come with instructions. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
We all come with instructions. We just fail to read them. And that's the whole thing about us. And that's okay. So I come with instructions. I'll tell a person in a minute. Certain things I'm not accepting, certain things I'm not doing, certain things. So like you come with instructions.
That's a t-shirt, Bill. I'm gonna get some made up.
Absolutely, sis. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. Sylvia said, let me say, she said, sometimes we have to fall back and allow our husbands to do what they need to do for us. Absolutely. Jay Burnett said, relationships, I believe, are partnerships. If you are independent going into a relationship, you have to communicate with your partner on how things are getting done in the relationship. Who's doing what? I'm assuming that's what or are we doing this together? How that makes sense. Tanya Teller says, I'm an alpha, but I don't want to be. I'm tired. LOL. I actually watched the man and see what he is going to do. So Tanya, you sit back and watch a man do what he wants. You okay? Let me finish reading this. No, I don't want to put you out there. She says, I'm an alpha, but I don't want to be. I'm tired. Wow. I actually watch the man and see what he is going to do. If he is moving to open the door for me, Is he getting out the car to pump my gas, carry my bags? That will let me know if he's a yes or a no. I need to ask you, Tanya, is that key for you? Tracy says some don't know how to even begin to change. Elizabeth says, Indy, I agree with Bill. If you do not set your boundaries, the person won't know. Sylvia said, communication is key. Tracy also said, I was a counselor for years at a domestic violence shelter, and the women struggled with what a healthy relationship looked like. I think we all sometimes have done that. Jennifer said, because marriage is not about duties or household chores, it's about companionship. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Lenny and Indy, you know what's so funny? I think we all have to understand what it is. First and foremost, some of us need to understand what our demons are. I use that word. Lenny, Indy, we were talking earlier about certain things. Like Lenny was like, and that's our private conversation. But Lenny was like, I know that about me. So with that being said, once you know who you are and what bothers you, like Indy, you said, you didn't say it, but then you said it. You said compromise and certain words. Like I hate to have a conversation with a woman, and I use the word hate. It kind of, as they would say in the country, and I'm not country, but I'll say it. They said that shit cooks my grits. You know what I'm saying? Or burns my. You know what I'm saying? Like when a woman says, "Oh, a real man would do this," or if you was a man, wait a minute, you don't have a man. How the f you know? You understand what I'm trying to say? So we all have our buttons that can be pushed. I've learned that the woman saying that probably will never have a man. You know what I'm saying? Because she's sitting here holding court and she ain't got a pot to piss in and a woman to put out of, right? Because a woman that loves herself and loves a man, she's going to know how to treat him and nurture him. Just like a man that respects a woman. Let me tell you something. If anybody that knows Lenny, and I'm just using you as an example, and especially with me, we were two men that took care of our mothers until they transitioned. So we know how to treat women. You understand what I'm trying to say? But the bottom line is, it doesn't mean we want to be abused and manipulated by a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is, a lot of times I think, and Lenny probably can contest to this, I've been a man that a lot of my lifestyle was fluff to those that weren't doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I give a perfect example. I could take a woman down to the radio station and hang out with you and Lenny, and she'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm on the radio." You know what I'm saying? But that's some everyday shit to me. But to her, it's like, she's telling her girlfriend, I was hanging out with Lenny Green in Indy at the radio station, whatever. I got to meet Red Alert or whomever, Funk Master Flex or anybody. She started dropping names, Bugsy. Well, if Lenny has a guest, to her, now you starstruck. You understand what I'm trying to say? Listen, I've seen it. It's been done. I know Lenny, like I said, Lenny has always said he doesn't want the woman that wants to meet all the stars that he works with and stuff like that. So you was working out. My baby working out, baby. Try to keep it cute. She knows she listening. But no, I mean, in summation of what we're talking about, everybody, I would like, this was asked earlier, like, I would love for these two to have a real talk segment with us because this is the nitty gritty. A lot of times they do the cute and the fluffy, but I would love for them to have a real nitty gritty. And we might have to talk about that sidebar.
We haven't gotten grimy. We've been really polite. I think for Dr. King, we were pretty polite tonight.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny? Like, Lenny, if you were in front of a bunch of women, like a lot of women that you are now, and Indy, if you was in a bunch of men like you are now, because a lot of men are quiet on this situation. Because the bottom line is, as a man married ain't gonna say shit that a single man would say. He ain't trying to mess that bed up.
Why would he be that stupid?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But see, right now, a woman that's married be like, come here. I want to see. You need to listen to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So is there one question before we get out of here that we can answer within a certain amount of minutes that y'all want to bring some real quiet storm topic to the air?
You want a question answered or
either one? Well, right now, any out there, is there any question? Okay, I'll do both. Do you want to ask the audience a question? And audience, is there a question that you would like to ask Indy and Lenny or myself before we get out of here? Now, the key is, hopefully we can answer it within about 3 to 4 minutes. And if you want Indy and Lenny to come back and we have this kind of segment, maybe once a month or twice a month, you let me know. But you need to let them know. Give me some thumbs and some hearts. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. But I'll find a slot for these two beautiful people so we can have this conversation because I love them to death. And
thank you, Billy. Thank you.
I feel special.
So you gotta hug it out, yo. You gotta fight it and love it. You know what I'm saying?
Love you, man. Thank you.
I mean, for those that don't know, I've watched Lenny. I went to school for journalism and psychology, but I've watched Lenny. I've sat around him a plethora of times, and sometimes I've plucked his brain on what it's like to be a good interviewer and a good journalist and an air personality. So if any part of me is good, I have to owe some of it to him. And I appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you're very kind, brother. I mean, look, we're all standing on each other's shoulders. Mm-hmm. If you say you're standing on my shoulder, trust me, I'm standing on the brothers with the golden voices that I grew up listening to. You know, Vaughn Harper, Frankie Crocker. I still listen to, and I'm floored. I'm in awe with a brother who is, thank God, still with us. He is so sharp as he was back when I was young, not even thinking about radio. I heard this guy. I was like, wow, this guy is good. And I didn't know nothing about radio. And he is still sharp to this day. Do you know who that? Well, I'm going to tell you who it is.
I know who it is.
Gary Bird.
Gary Bird, the legend.
Gary Bird is always been knowledgeable, has been flawless. You put a record on, he knows how to hit that post. He'll talk that baby up. He's a Buffalo cat. You know, I mean, he trained in Buffalo like all the other legends. That guy to this day, I just was listening to Gary Bird this past Sunday on his show. He has a talk show. He has a talk show on WBLS and he has a talk show on WBAI. Flawless. That's the guy. I'm still trying to get to his level. So, brother, we're all standing. We're all helping. I'm pulling from him. You might be pulling from me. And that's what it's all about.
But, you know, I say that because I think a lot of times people don't give each other flowers. And I think it goes back to, especially on Dr. Martin Luther King Day. I told you this offline. I told you when you and I have just been driving or just at a bar, wherever we've been, or in the studio, that I love you and I appreciate you. And so if I can't give you your flowers, then I'm not your friend. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, and giving you your flowers without wanting anything back. Because if you're going to do something for me, and when I say do something, that me coming down, hanging out with you in the studio is something. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times people do things, and we know we've had those friends that have done things to get shit. You know what I'm saying? I've had friends of me, yo, can you hook me up with Lenny? Because I want to. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm not. Look, man. Everybody, I'm still trying to climb the ladder. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not. I consider legends the people I just mentioned. They have tenure in the game. They have longevity in the game. They reached a certain plateau. I'm still on step 10, trying to get to step 100. You know what I'm saying?
In Indy and Real Talk people, our Real Talk crew, our family, that's the humility in Lenny. That's the beautiful thing. And in the martial arts, that's the white belt. Like I said, I'm going to just give you some public service announcements for all those. The shows are sponsored by the Deadly Arts.
Yes, sir. You're in there.
Yes, I'm in this. I got a little skill set. You know what I'm saying? It's a little. I'm getting a little older now, so I will pop a cap in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because
I know it may not be apropos, but can you tell? There you go.
Also, hold on. It's not even over yet because I have a question for you all, and I want you to ask a question. It's also sponsored by Soft Illusions Art Gallery. This is Malika and her mother's art gallery. My wife is a boss, like I said. If you have something that you want to give to a special lady, this is the calendar each month. It's a different color and it's an abstract design. You can order it online. Malika will put it in the chat. Also, too, after the month, if it's your month, you can take this and frame it and have a little art, picture. We have mugs. We have a plethora of
I like
things.
that.
Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, this is Black business, baby. So when we're talking about supporting Black business, we do our thing. We also have paperweights and things of that magnitude that come in different sizes.
That's beautiful.
I told you, I say, my wife is a boss, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate and I love her.
Is she the artist?
Her mother's the artist. She's the co-owner. Yeah, Malika does the business aspect, and her mother does the painting. So if you're all about supporting Black business, please reach out to my wife and order something. It's
wait, because I'm looking for a couple of pieces for my Miami spot. Is there a website that you know?
Yes, it's right there in that picture. Malika.
You got to call the missus.
Yeah, I got to call her. So, but the best thing I can do is use my platform to promote my wife. Okay, she says she'll put it in there. So now I want to know if y'all have a question for somebody. And listen, we have gone way beyond our point of view, but I love what we're doing tonight. I missed this aspect of the conversation. Stefania says, I have a question. And let me read it right now. She says, another question. Oh, she says another question. Wait. Well, okay. She said another question. So is it being stated that only one gets 80% of their wants, needs in a relationship, and how does one decide what 20% they could live without?
Oh, the 80-20 game.
Yeah, I don't play that though.
Yeah, the 80-20. But you know how that stemmed from? I think that
Tyler Perry shit, right? Yeah.
Why did I get married or something like that, right? So why would you settle for 20 when you got 80%? My question is, not trying to be offensive to anyone, how you know you're bringing 80%? I mean, and if you are, that's great.
Ooh.
But let me ask, no, but the other side of the coin, is he bringing 80%? Because if he's not bringing 80%, ladies, then why are you with him? You're wasting your time.
And you know what's so funny, Indy? I'm gonna let you come in this, but first and foremost, when we say 80-20, what if that's the numbers you want to play with, right? I really wasn't an 80-20 person. I'm damn near like a 98 and 2% kind of cat. You know what I'm saying? And like the 2% I'm talking about, Malika don't eat meat. She don't eat red meat. So but she don't tell me not to eat red meat. You understand what I'm trying to say? So
right.
That's where we are. And that's a beautiful thing because we understand each other. We got married at an older age, but when I got married, I was in my 50s. Malika wasn't. So the beautiful thing about that is I already had a mindset, and she was a mature woman, so she had a mindset. With that being said and saying all that, I don't believe in 80-20 because what 20% am I sacrificing? Now I can meet a woman, Stefania, and I'm just going to play with this. I can meet a woman that's great in bed, but she doesn't have the job that I think is boss-like. And what's boss-like, it depends on who we talking about. I didn't say she had to own a law firm, but maybe I think she's a lawyer. Or maybe she doesn't have to be the lawyer, but she could be the executive administrator and making 100,000. Because that may be the boss to me. Because what's your pay grade? Because I know what my pay grade is. I say all that to say, but like a woman doesn't have to cook for me, but you can offer. You understand what I'm saying? Malika doesn't eat meat, but Malika cooks a turkey for me, and she doesn't. She doesn't eat meat. But I have to stand there and be like, she'll say to me, "Come taste this, and let me know how does it taste." Like how beautiful is that? She doesn't eat meat,
right?
But she'll cook me meat. You know what I'm saying?
And Bill, and that's what I mean by you're not in a compromised position. You're not compromising. You are in a safe space to be who you are, how you are, the way you are for right now. And when you change, you'll still be embraced and loved in the change of your life. And so there's a level of respect there. Not you're my man and you're my what. You are a decent human being, and I love you and I like you. And so that whole 80-20 thing, don't even think about the percentages because you're already putting yourself in a position where
you're putting yourself in a box, Indy, right?
You're putting yourself in a box. There are going to be times when you don't want that 80%. I want 20 of you, leave me alone. Or I need 80 right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we are born people. We're not dead yet. We're born. We're not buried. You don't know. We don't know where what is. We don't know what's coming.
And Indy, check this out. Andy, check this out, right? Stefania, I'm just saying this because you asked a question. Imagine Malika comes from a family that knows how to do carpentry and stuff like that. Like,
I need a number.
Yeah, right. Like Philadelphians are very hands-on, like structural people, right? Anybody that knows me, I'm manicure all day. I'm not doing that. I tell you, if you want me to help you box somebody out, you want me to solve a crime, you want me to do some other stuff, I get it. Like Indy said, you want me to help you psychoanalyze some shit, I'll do that. That's my forte, right? I'm macho in that aspect. But imagine if Malika's 20%, her 80% was everything I was, and the 20% I wasn't was the hands-on kind of man. I would have lost her if she felt that was her problem. And we've had these discussions. She'll tell you in a minute. If Malika was here, she'll tell you. She says, "Baby, you don't have to do this. I'll do it." Right? I struggled with myself because the bottom line is there was no way I could see my woman up there doing something. And I sat there and was like, "Oh, okay. I'm getting up off my ass and I'm learning." It bothered me. I fought myself because I was like, oh, let's pay somebody to do it. I'll pay it. She was like, no, why would I do that when I could do it? But see, that was my lazy way of not trying to learn it. So yeah, to this day, I still don't want to do this shit. I've learned to do this shit. Do I really want to do this shit? No. I will still pay to do this shit, but I do the shit.
I think I remember. Wait, were you all doing? I don't know if it was a show. It had to be a show, or it was either a show or you all posted a video or something.
Oh,
you
yes.
In the house.
Yes, that was us.
And she was like, y'all were having a conversation back and forth, and someone like, yeah, but Bill's not doing it. And I'm like, what?
Yep, that was my black ass. And we blew up the internet because we had a grill put together, and oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Right, the grill.
Listen, yo, we are.
Yeah, I'm gonna text you after we're done because I'm getting all these spiritual downloads, and I have something for you. And that's the thing. I'll give Lenny all these things, and I won't write them down, and he won't, and I'll forget. So I got some stuff for you. I think you should embark on.
Oh no, it's a beautiful thing. So let me tell you something. Elizabeth says, not a question, just wanted to say I would love both Indy and Lenny back on the regular. As always, a great show. Stay blessed, be safe. Thank you, Elizabeth. That's right. Tell her now. Sylvia said, Lenny is a legend to us because we grew up with him. Absolutely. Elizabeth said, I love the art, need the website. Sylvia says, some people think that they give their all, but they're all may not be good enough as a person. Absolutely. 50-50, 30-70, 40-60, who knows? You know what's so funny? I was having a conversation, Sil, and I was telling somebody, sometimes people think what they give in another person's eyesight, it might be a lot, but really it may be the minimal aspect. Like Sil,
Right.
you and I were in law enforcement. So somebody calls us and asks us a law enforcement question, and I take the time to answer it, or you take the time to answer it. They may like, oh, thank you, yo, you were so helpful. You really had my back. But that was the minimal thing I could do because I know that's something easy. Now, what's the real thing? What's the real sacrifice? Where's the real help you at? Am I going to give you some money? You know what I'm saying? Because like I was telling somebody, I said a killer could kill somebody for you, but they may not lend you money. But the easiest thing they do is kill somebody. So like they ain't gonna ever let nobody mess with you.
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, what? Oh, but you kill somebody for me. Yeah, well, that's what I do. But you asking me to help paint or move some furniture.
Right. I don't do that.
I really need you to help me with this shit.
Right.
So we need to understand. We need to understand what people's limitations are and what they think they're doing for us, but they're not really doing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that you bring up a good point though, Bill, in that sometimes you got to just be able. Are you able to meet people where they are? Is that okay? Is there good enough? And then if it isn't, you kind of got to take a step back and do some self-reflection and say, okay, like one of the viewers said, maybe our expectations are a bit high. You know, like, are you able to meet people where they are? Because look, we all humans in this, man. We ain't perfect. None of us. We're changing. We're going through stuff. We got childhood traumas that we ain't even cleared up yet. So, like, work with me here. Work with me. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yo, also, let me just give you some sidebar. Malika said to you and Lenny, come back. We need to do this show some more. So that's more. Everybody, if you want Lenny and Indy to come back, please just give us some thumbs up, some hearts, and I'll get them back. Stefania has another question for both of you, I guess, and myself. She says, I have a question. If a married man's side chick calls his wife and the wife beats her up shortly thereafter, is the wife wrong?
What? How you gonna ask that and we're about to leave? That's a show.
Maybe that's a comeback. Lenny, you want to take a little shot at that, or Stefania?
If the man has a side chick and you still remaining as the wife, you don't need to beat her up. You just need to get out of the marriage.
Yeah, if a married man's side chick calls his wife,
can I beat her up and then leave too?
And the wife beats her up shortly after, is the wife wrong?
well, Bill, that involves you, Bill. You know how? Why don't you explain to somebody from a law enforcement standpoint what happens to the wife?
Well, she's going to get arrested for assault. She's going to get arrested for assault.
I don't like none of those answers.
First, let me just say this.
Leave.
Let me give everybody this quick thing before we get out of here. I've had men threaten me. I've had men threaten my job because they're either somebody I dated or their ex or some girl that liked me. They were so jealous and intimidated by me, right? I've dated women that have cheated on me for insecurity reasons, unbeknown, whatever. I have never, and I had to learn the difference between the ego and the mature man. I'm never going to stoop down to a level of violence because that's a sign of weakness to me. Unless, even if you, God forbid, and I'm married now, if Malika cheated on me, oh my God, my emotions, right? But I tell anybody that really knows me, like Lenny is probably one of a few people that really know me. And I always say, if you want to know who Bill Foster is, the real Bill Foster, go watch The Godfather, the second one. I am Michael Corleone. I am cool as ice, but I am ruthless as a motherfucker if you cross me. You understand what I'm saying? So I say all that to say that 5 minute, because it ain't gonna be long. So I say 5 minute gratification of whipping somebody's ass. Now I go to jail, right? Listen, I'll step away and I'll take everything before I beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? I'll hurt you financially. You know what I'm saying? I get that. I'm gonna pinch that pocket. You understand what I'm saying? If we're not gonna be friends. We're not gonna hear about, oh, you was working long hours, you weren't paying attention to me. I don't want to hear that shit. So you know what's so funny? If a man called me, if Malika had a mister, and he called me, I'd be like, yo, I'll probably go to her and be like, yo, are you getting any money out this clown? Because why is he calling me? I know he ain't calling me over some sex. You know what I'm saying? Now, trust me, I'm being a little facetious, but listen, jealousy, what are we fighting for? You know, I guess that's the moral of my story. Why are you fighting? You know, right. Why are you fighting? If he, listen, and anybody out there that likes to cheat, if you're a cheat, you cheating, don't, and then here's the real talk. If you cheating, you're cheating because you want to cheat. You're not cheating because somebody gave you a reason. You're just a cheater. You're just a cheater. You just like to cheat. Because if you believe in your oath and your vows, I tell Malika all the time, I tell anybody, and I say that I never got married to cheat. I didn't have to get married. I got married when I was 51 years old. I didn't have to get married. I got to stay single and sling ding ding all over the city. You know what I'm saying? Right? But right now, I'm married because I want to be in a monogamous relationship. And any relationship I was in when I was in a monogamous relationship, if I called you my girl, I didn't cheat on you. Now, you may have thought I cheated because I had a lot of female friends, and that when we go back to insecurity, that's a big topic we need to talk. Go ahead, I'll lock you off. And we talk about insecurity and a lot of things, Indy. You know what I'm saying? Because we all bleed insecurity. We all. Let me tell you something. The mirror don't lie. The demons are there. Why do we really like each other? I'm getting a little fatter. I'm getting a little older. Oh, I'm moving slow. Libido ain't staying up stronger as it did the other day. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things like, oh, I mean, our insecurities happen when we try something on and we be like, oh shit. We blame it on COVID. Why we ain't blaming it on that damn sweet potato pie we just had downstairs? You know what I'm saying? But bottom line is, we with somebody that's why you try to get somebody that loves you for whom you are and not for what you look like. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I know Malika will love me if I put on a pound, and I will love her if she put on a pound. But the beautiful thing about our love is that we're going to try to work the pounds off together.
I put on quite a few pounds during this pandemic. That's why I was on the Peloton trying to work it off.
She is on the Peloton, everybody.
Peloton. I love it.
I can't.
Okay, you were there. Listen, Indy, do you want to answer Stefania's question about beating somebody's ass?
That question should have been saved for the next. Love you, Stefania.
I know.
For the next show, you don't end the show with that.
Elizabeth,
right, Indy?
Elizabeth,
I mean,
Malika, you're welcome. My favorite beautiful couple. Anyone who wants to know what a marriage is, ask the Forces. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. Sylvia, Elizabeth, the Forces, keep it going. Malika, it's an excellent show, family. Please come back. Malika wants us to come back. Indy, you're gonna have to talk to Lenny. We're gonna have to work on the schedule when we
sidebar. I will.
Tanya said, you have to know what a deal breaker. Don't go into a relationship knowing you can't deal with something, hoping it will change. That Tanya Taylor, that's absolutely right.
That's right, sis.
Absolutely.
Save that for the next show. Absolutely. AJ Miller's in the building, my dude. Elizabeth said, why should I get arrested for his transgressions? Just leave. Absolutely.
Just take the money.
Yep. I took everything and never spoke to her again. Absolutely, AJ. You know what I'm saying? Michelle said, how do you feel about the new relationship trend? What is that?
Polygamy.
What is it?
Polygamy.
Save that for the next show.
We're going to save that for the next show.
Longest show.
Long show, but it's been so fun.
I love it.
I love it. So
polygamy.
Yeah, polygamy. Wow.
Girl, they ended the show with some heavy hitters, right?
so everybody out there that's watching, we strong. from wherever the cities you are, put some hearts and some thumbs up for Lenny and Indy. We're going to let them go say whatever they want to say before we get out of here, because the bottom line is, Lenny, you and Indy, we're going to talk sidebar. We're going to talk in the green room after we get off. But everybody wants us to come back and do a real talk with a Quiet Storm show, man. We got to, they want to have this kind of real talk. They've never heard Lenny and Indy get like this, get greasy. You know what I'm saying? They need a little grease, baby. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to start a show. We're going to start a game show looking for Lenny's wife.
No. Well, I cannot come back. I cannot come back for this.
No. All right, then we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. No, we ain't gonna chase him away. I don't care. Don't ever get married. Stay here and hang with us.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, listen, he knows I don't mean that.
He doesn't mean that. I know.
No, Lenny. Let me tell you something. When Lenny and Lenny, correct me if I'm wrong. When I got married, I told Lenny, I said, Lenny, how beautiful is this? I said, you didn't lose a brother, you gained a sister.
Yeah, you did say that.
Right? Yeah. Because that's what it's about when you want your friends happy for you and stuff like that. Indy, what do you always say to me, Indy, when I talk to you? How's my girl? How's Malika? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, that's when the family expands. You understand what I'm saying? That's when the family expands, because you only wish happiness on the others.
Right.
And that's why I can only want my people, my dog. Listen, I want my dog and my dogette. You know what I'm saying? to be happy. We got any more questions?
Sylvia says she has a nice lady friend in Florida.
Sylvia says she got a nice lady friend in Florida for Lenny.
Send the pictures to Bill and I, and then Bill and I can interview her.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to meet nobody. Look, whoever might be interested in, you gotta go through them. If you pass them, then I'll definitely know that you're qualified.
Bill will talk first, and I'll listen, and I'll take notes, and then I'll ask questions.
So Lenny and Indy, here's a tough question. Would you like to come back? We're going to green room it. Would you like to just have a little collaboration, maybe once a month, once or twice a month, and we can sit out here and chop it up like this? Not this long, not this long. but maybe we could just have a segue. Lenny, we could find some time for you. I know you're busy, but it's a beautiful thing. It makes every started. Jennifer Hendricks says, "Come back, please." So listen, that's YouTube. You got people on YouTube. You got social media. You got Facebook. I can't wait to see the numbers.
See what he says. He's thinking about
it. Well, let him think. I know.
I mean, look. If the people want us back, I would love to do it. Definitely.
We got to find his time.
Huh?
Well, I said you got to find your time, your schedule,
I mean, right now, I definitely could commit to a once a month thing. So that's great. Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to. I personally don't want to come back if they don't want us back. And want me back.
Oh, look at that!
Listen, everybody's saying come back.
Everybody, put the thumbs up, put the hearts up for Lenny Green and Indy Smith. Come back, come back.
I have to look on my phone. I'm not looking.
This also is streamed. I know we're on StreamYard, but you put it on your other platforms, right?
It's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. So it's on Facebook Live. So Lenny, all you have to do, if on your Facebook page, go to my Facebook page and look under my name while we're broadcasting right now, or even when we're off, and put share, and it'll go right to your page. So that way,
I shared it from the beginning.
Yeah, Indy shared it. So listen,
Lenny and Indy, you got so much love. I see all these hearts flying right now.
I am gonna heart everybody. I'm so corny. When I'm done, I'm gonna go to the page and I'm just gonna heart everybody.
Yes.
Well, please forgive me, because I'm not gonna go to the page because I'm working. So
we'll heart them later.
So listen, before we get out of here, Indy, give the people some positive affirmation. That is one thing that's a Real Talk Chronicles ritual. More joy is in the house. We always want people to leave with some positive, thought-provoking thing. You guys are family. We're gonna talk in the green room after we get off, but I want you to give people something. How can they find you, follow you, Lenny, I know you're going to have a runway of stuff, and I want you to give them all of it. Give it all of it. Jam it down their throat, baby. Let them know where they can see you, smell you, find you. You and Indy, wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? So, Indy, give us some positive love, baby. Go ahead, sis.
I just want to say I love you, man, and I thank you.
No, let Indy go first, brother. Let Indy go first. Go ahead.
Okay, so be patient with yourself. Like, we don't have everything we want right now. Financially, things might be strapped. I know you're stressed out about this COVID stuff. We've lost family members. It's a stressful time, but you know what? If you're watching this, you're still here. You have a laptop, you have communication, you have somebody to talk to, you may have friends over, you've eaten, hopefully. Just be patient with yourself. Just know we are all in this together. You're not alone. And how can you find me? If you need to talk, go to indieslens.com. All my social media is there. You can book a session. You can have a free consultation. Whatever you need. I am truly there. I'm more than just radio. I like to listen to people with an open heart and an open mind, but I'm also not going to bullshit you. You know, we're here. We got to do the work, but just be patient with yourself. Give yourself a minute to not be okay and be okay with that, you know? And so, yeah, just indieslens.com, Indy's Lens on Instagram, Indy Smith on Facebook. That's how you reach me. And then Thursday nights with Lenny Green on the Quiet Storm, Confessions of Love.
Excellent. We love you.
I got her saying Lindy now.
We love you, Indy.
Yo, definitely.
Love you too. Thank you.
I'm going to say something until Lenny's ready to come in back. First and foremost, for those that don't know, this is how Real Talk Chronicles started. It started from the aspect of healing. After I lost my mother, I knew I needed therapy. So what I do, I galvanized a bunch of friends that came together, and we just started conversing about our upbringing. And of course, it just transcended into relationships, because relationships are who we have become and how they make us who we are. I love it. I love doing it. The evolution of Real Talk has gone into the political aspect and law enforcement things that I feel are more important. But there's always this segment. Relationships are very paramount, and I still can fall back and do this. It's like I could say, like, just because you brought me out the game, I can get back in this. Like, I can talk this kind of conversation. And then also, if I want to, I can have my wife come in and join me. But believe me, please love yourself. What I'm going to tell you from a relationship standpoint, you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. There are people still in relationships that are loving or just with somebody because they don't want to be alone. Mm-hmm. Don't sacrifice that. Listen, love yourself, believe in a higher power, become a better person. You know, we grow. I grow every day. Malika grows every day. If you don't grow, that's when the conflict arises in your relationship. And your relationship could be just with your coworker, your sister, your mother, your father, whomever. A relationship doesn't just have to be physical. It can become physical with somebody that you love. So I say all that to say is love yourself, be a better person. But we're going to come back and we're going to chop it up and we're going to have some real talk. And I would love to do this with Lenny and Indy and Indy and Lenny and Malika. Yeah, Lenny. But we're gonna let Mr. Quiet Storm close us out. He's gonna give you some positive affirmation. He's gonna tell you where you can hear him at, where you can see him at. Right now, this pandemic has changed a lot of things, but God is good. We're here. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Alyson, you still got your slot, baby. We love you. Let's get well. We just added another show, baby. We're gonna get another show. You know, Lenny, everybody give them up. Lenny said they're coming back. Is there anything we need to read? She said, okay. Let me just say, great show. They're saying great show. Stefani said great show, guys. Anna said great show. Bill Lenny.
Anna!
Yeah, Anna's in the building. Vivian said amen and awesome. Love yourself first. Exactly. Vivian Garcia, Indy, you are beautiful. Thank you for the real talk.
Thank you.
Said, I have fun. Stefania said, Lenny will be back. I make his drinks. Vivian said, you better stop that, Lenny. You know you are always wanted. Exactly. Sylvia said, seriously, Lenny. Michelle said, Mr. Quiet Storm, always. Sylvia said, glad I came on tonight. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Elizabeth said, come back. She said, I also enjoy the show as always. Sylvia said, I had a nice lady friend. Oh, yeah, okay, we got that. All right,
yeah.
So let's give us some pop. Jennifer Hendricks said, all hearts, come back. Josephine Garcia, all hearts, come back. So that's the YouTube family. Listen,
Can you hear me?
Go. Go.
Oh, well, so let me just rewind my tip by saying thank you, man. I love you, man. And thank you for you and Malika for extending the invitation to us to be a part of this wonderful, spectacular platform that you guys have. I know it reaches so many people and touches so many people, and it opens up the minds of so many people. So, you know, Indy and I, we're happy to partake and you know, be a part of your family to expand it even more. Real talk. Real talk.
Real talk.
But you know what I want to? One day, if you guys ever have a chance, and Indy, if you ever free to, maybe you need to come on a Wednesday too. That's something that might stir.
What's happening on Wednesday?
Well, Wednesday is when we talk about a lot of law enforcement change and what things happen. What we do, we show a lot of footage of police interaction with civilians and what could be done different. And sometimes we get different perspectives from different law enforcement people.
That's an understatement.
on what they think. And you never know what one says and how one views a situation.
Well, see, again, I'm gonna speak on that. Because see, I always wanted to be, I think I told you, I always wanted to go. I thought I would be a cop.
Right.
At 9 years old, before I even thought about, I thought about singing right after I thought about being a cop. Mm-hmm. But I always wanted to do undercover work, narc, and then who do I meet? Detectives, a whole bunch of detectives, narc guys.
In your camp, yeah, exactly.
So I didn't walk the life, but I know good friends that are a part of the life like you have been. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting situation. I don't drive through the streets though, Bill, with the badge. So if I say something and I get stopped, aren't you the guy who was on that Real Talk? See, I don't want that problem.
Right.
Listen, yo, we got phone calls, baby. We got phone calls.
Let me use my phone. If I say, let me reach for my phone. You know what happens these days.
You know the beautiful thing is we're gonna make sure that you're able to reach to get your phone when after they harass you, because the bottom line is, I think one of my goals in my life, I think the Lord has given me, is the opportunity to learn law enforcement, to go out here and then speak to people and how not to be put in situations. The bottom line is, I know I'm an African American, I'm a Black man, I'm a man of color from either Latin descent or African descent or Caribbean descent. I don't know. I mean, I know I'm mixed with a lot of things, and even European descent. But the bottom line is, my skin tone is what you see first, and then you still don't even listen to the words that come out my mouth. I've seen a lot of people articulate themselves and still get treated a certain way. So the bottom line is, if we can change the culture that has already been established to the culture. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm about public safety. I'm about, listen, you disrespect, you deserve to get it. Listen, I tell anybody like that. If some people view that as being a conservative or a certain thing, listen, I'm about law and order. I think we're all about structure. You know what I'm saying, Indy?
Yes. Choices. Yeah. You're gonna be an idiot in the street. You're gonna get the response of an idiot in the street. Like, it's at that point, it's not even about a color. It's your choice. You made a choice. You put yourself in that position, and because you know it's people out there just ready to off you because of how you look, you still chose to put yourself in that position. Then you need to be gone.
Absolutely.
These people out here robbing old women, robbing old men, pushing people in. I don't care. They could be green, blue, purple. I don't care if you're the alien. Can we get rid of them, please? That's not what we're talking about. So yes, I'm with you.
So the bottom line is, Lenny, you're right. we we're going to find a better way. We're going to do a lot of things together because people need to see you. They need to see Indy. They need to see Malika. They need to see myself, because we don't need to see the people that are not promoting positivity. And I always say this: we are the ones that are struggling so hard that don't sometimes have the time to reach back all the time. Not that we don't reach back sometime, because you have an event that you do in Brooklyn. You give back to the community, Lenny. Indy, we're always there. So we do our certain things, but we're not accessible to do it all the time. And that's why we're asking everybody to galvanize. You can do it independently. This is the one thing about saving a youth you can do by yourself. You don't need a team to do. So, right. Lenny, like I said, give us some positive love and affirmation before we get out of here, and tell them where they can hear you at and listen to you all over the world.
Well, tonight you can hear me on Hot 105 in Miami, hot105fm.com. So that's one aspect. Otherwise, you can go to WBLS.com Monday through Thursday. On Thursday nights, Indy Smith joins me, and we make it a balance of not a he say she say, but you get two different perspectives, like you heard tonight. And that's important for us. I never wanted to always be just one-sided. I know I dominate most of the shows, but I always want to make sure, you ladies have a platform and a voice, and Indy's that well-rounded, opinionated, well-balanced, uncertain voice that sometimes you want to have spoken, and she brings it to the table. Plus we go to the phones and we bring other people in, and we like to find out a way. We're working on a way of how we can actually bring you in if you've been having a hard time. Connect with us on Confessions of Love. So Absolutely. Hopefully that will come to fruition this year as well. Look,
Absolutely. And then sometimes, Indy and Lenny, if y'all ever need another woman's perspective on something,
Malika,
there's a lady named Malika. She might tell you how she feels about some things.
We would love that. We would love that. We should have we should have a couples thing, even though I won't be coupled up. We should have a couples thing. I can play definitely the devil's advocate, because you got Derek at Indy, and you got Malika and Bill.
That's not gonna work. You're not gonna get him. You're not gonna get him. He don't want to be seen. He don't do the whole. He doesn't have social media. He is undercover brother. Undercover.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
you see him at an event. You see him live. But
he's always in the cut. Tell D I said what's up. I appreciate it.
He's like, they do facial recognition. They gonna do stuff with your face, and they're going. I'm like, okay. He
Jason Bourne in it too much now. Tell him don't he conspiracy theorist. Listen, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Alyson wasn't with us tonight. We're sending our prayers.
No better, Alyson.
Yeah, Alyson, awesome. Everybody, that's Indy Smith. That's Lenny Green. I am Bill Foster. We had Dr. Marilyn Corder in the building. Let me just run down the resume for you. Every Monday, the first Monday of the month, we have Assemblyman Al Taylor. We had the past month, with January, we had the borough president, Mark Levine, on talking about COVID and other things like that. The second Monday of the month, we have Dr. Marilyn Corder keeping us abreast of Omicron and all these different variants. What's going on in this world? Please tune in to her. The third Monday of the month, we have Alyson Williams, the First Lady of Def Jam. The fourth Monday of the month, we have Pastor Kevin Graves, Spiritual Walk. We talk about spirituality and how it affects us today, because we still need to get back to that root of our spiritual awakeness, wherever it is and whoever you believe in, whatever his name is to you, but still, and how is it affecting us today? Every Wednesday, we have Chuck and Kevin, and we talk police stuff, reform, change. What can we do? How do we stop the police culture that has been so problematic in our society today? How do we go forth as people? What do we need to do to still be better people and citizens, law-abiding citizens? Because those are the things. We talk politics. We talk a lot of things. Alvin Bragg, first Black deputy DA. We asked him to come back. Him and I was texting. Eric Adams has been on this show. So we touch a lot of bases. And the beautiful thing about that is it's all you. We ask anybody, anytime any one of you wants to be on live with us, all you got to do is text any of your counterparts here. Just say, yo, I want to come on. We'll send you the link. Just come on. Make sure you got some shit to say. Because right?
Good.
Yeah. Everybody, Real Talk. We're out of here. Appreciate you. This was the extended version. We love it. Hold on.
Love it.
We're going into the green room. We're going on the green